MetLife.
That happened while I was away.
And Clay will be the drink leader, making sure everybody drinks. Isn't that right, Clay?
That is my sole purpose in life.
So, oh boy. So am I
here we
the
go.
only one with the computer? I can't do Zoom on my old PC laptop. So this is my iPhone.
That's okay.
And
People,
the computer is on my lap.
Okay, guys, we are live. Welcome everybody to Scripts Gone Wild. This is a really exciting read for us. We love horror films. We love horror reads. We've done a lot in the past. We did the original Nightmare on Elm Street a couple of years ago. And tonight we are doing a Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors, which is a personal favorite of mine. Clay, what is your experience with the Nightmare on Elm Street films? I know that you didn't come into horror until later in life. But what is your experience with this film in particular?
Yeah, I did. I did not have the experience of Freddy Krueger haunting my dreams as a little kid, but I did get to have it in my mid to late 20s, and I love this series. And in particular, I actually love movies, but of course, Dream Warriors is a high point. And of course, my podcast Screen Drafts, one of our most infamous episodes was the Freddy versus Jason super draft. Where you, Billy Ray, what's going on? You're having a freak out.
No, so we got some background noise somewhere.
Mute yourself, people.
That's a phone going off, and I can't control that. But anyway, hold on.
Got the phone. Anyhow, yeah, you and Graham down there and Elric Kane and Rebecca McKendry did terrible, horrible things for the memory of these films. But I'm looking at the writing credits on this one, and this is an auspicious team behind this script. You got Wes Craven, Bruce Wagner, Chuck Russell, and Frank Darabont. Wow. So it is no wonder this is a crackerjack picture.
Yeah, it's a murderer's row, pun intended, of screenwriters. I'm really proud of that one. Well, I want to take a second right now to introduce our readers. We have a pretty awesome roster that we're really excited about. So just wave to everybody at home in their various quarantine pods as I say your name. We've got Emma Kenney.
Hey, sorry, I'm right here.
Lisa Wilcox.
Hey.
Woo! Hey.
Andras Jones.
Hi.
Do we have Allie yet? Is Allie here?
She literally just texted me that she's 2 minutes away right now.
Allie Ioannides, who is almost here. Rico E. Anderson.
Woo!
Betsy Sodaro, or is it Sodaro?
Sodaro, but whatever.
Hey, no, I corrected myself. Time. Betsy Sodaro. There we go.
Yeah, man.
Ryan Gowland.
Hi, everybody.
Graham Skipper.
Hi, everybody.
Izzy Lee.
Hey.
Enchanté.
Scott Wampler. Kira Powell
has joined us, and I gotta go close the door.
Flannery Whaley.
What's up? What's up?
DeVaughn Taylor.
Signed 10 minutes before the game.
Okay.
And co-host Clay Keller. And then we also have our designated drinker for tonight, who is going to be taking over the drinking duties of Mr. Graham Skipper, who has a very important day tomorrow and couldn't really get jiggy with it tonight. So it's going to be Sasha Kerbel. Welcome, Sasha.
You too, like Rico.
Thank you. I'm sorry.
So I want to talk really quick. What we do here at Scripts Gone Wild is we raise money for charity. Each week is a different charity. Sometimes we repeat them, and sometimes we get the folks involved with our reads to help us choose our charities. And tonight our charity is Care Rescue LA, which is an organization. It's a nonprofit that works with animals in Southern California and Los Angeles and helping save animals and also educating people about animals and animal abuse and how to take care of animals. And Emma, this was a charity that you recommended that we choose. I'm wondering, what's your relationship to this charity?
Yeah, I have 2 dogs from them, and they have rescue dogs from China. Here, wait, I'll show you guys right now one of them. This is Winnie. We just got her like maybe a month ago.
Aww.
So sweet. She's got a neurological issue, so she's got like this little twitch. And then this one right here is Onyx. Wait. How do you switch this thing? I hate Zoom. Can you see her?
Yes. Oh.
Yeah. So, yeah, they're great. Care Rescue.
Yay, Care Rescue. Hi, I finally made it.
Oh,
What
Allie
up,
has joined
Freddy?
us. Welcome, Allie. Welcome.
Thank you.
Um,
Sorry for being late.
So all throughout this read, you can make a donation to Care Rescue. That link is carerescuela.org. And what we're doing this week, which we've done the last few, is if you make a donation to Care Rescue LA and you screenshot it or you send us proof of your donation, the person who makes the largest donation will receive a special Blu-ray prize pack. Tonight, it is a Chuck Russell prize pack, sort of, because you get the Never Sleep Again Elm Street Legacy documentary, which includes a little bit of Chuck
Yes.
Russell, but you
Good
also
stuff.
get the Blu-ray of the 1988 remake of The Blob, and you get the Blu-ray of the Arnold Schwarzenegger action classic Eraser. And so send us proof of your donation and you win that prize pack and we will send that to you. We want you to donate as much money as you can to Care Rescue LA. But before we get started, we have a really special treat for everybody. The delightful Flannery Whaley is going to be performing the Dokken classic Dream Warriors for us. Flannery, are you ready to do this? If everybody will mute their Zooms for this part of it, and then we will let
Zoom it. Oh, I don't know how to mute it.
Lisa, just look down in the left-hand corner. There's a microphone that says mute.
Billy Ray, you're muted.
I muted it for you, Lisa, so you're good. Whenever you're ready, Flannery.
Alrighty. Hey, can you hear this still? I'm just making sure. Sweet. I'm taking off the headphones. Well, here goes nothing. I lie awake and dream of lonely nights. I'm not alone. I wonder if these heavy eyes can face the unknown. When I close my eyes, I realize you'll come my way. I'm standing in the night alone forever, together with the dream warriors. I don't wanna dream no more with the dream warriors. And maybe tonight
Well, everybody's muted, but the clapping, at least the audio is there.
Woo!
Great
That's
job,
good.
Flannery.
That's
was
good
awesome.
news.
That
Thank
was
you.
awesome.
Yeah.
You know, I think
Only Billy
Dokken.
Ray puts you in the scenario to have to do a Dokken song. That's all I
Well, what a lovely way to dive into the rules for everybody at home. Scripts Gone Wild is a drinking game. If any of our readers flub a line, make a mistake, do anything that we can construe as a drink-worthy offense, they will have to take a drink. Our followers on social media choose what we call social words. These are words that anytime any of our readers read them aloud in the script, and that's just our readers, it doesn't count if I read it, but if they read these words aloud, everybody takes a drink. And the words for tonight are kids and hypnosil. So if you are playing along at home, those are the words that you need to drink on. We also have something called a finish your drink line, which is chosen by our Patreon subscribers. When we get to this line in the script, everybody finishes whatever drink is in their hand, whether it is a fresh pour or just a couple of sips. And that line tonight is "Welcome to Prime Time, Bitch," which was not actually in the script. It was evidently a nice day of ad lib, but we've put it back in the script because that's what everybody wanted. So those are the rules. Do any of our readers have any questions?
What are the words you have to drink on again?
Kids and hypnosil.
And when we come across the word, do we have to say it or can we skip it if we see it and then not have to drink?
You cannot skip.
Okay.
You cannot skip. You must read the word.
You must read the word, and Billy Ray, as always, I will put up my disclaimer that I only specifically mentioned just because I want everyone to like me and dislike you. I will be enforcing the drinking rule. I'll be shouting at you to drink, sometimes in the middle of a line. It is not intended as any sort of personal offense or commentary on a given performance. I am just following orders from Billy Ray. Those are the rules of his creation.
But Clay will also let you finish if it's like a really good line or chunk of dialogue. He's not
really in the middle of a potent monologue. We can wait till the end of that to drink in celebration at the end of the piece.
This is correct. And if anyone if anyone has tech issues during the read and you pop off, Clay will don his best impression of you and finish your lines while you are having technical difficulties. That's what part of Clay's responsibilities are.
Yep.
Okay.
I have to pay attention this whole time.
If there are no more questions, then we're going to dive into A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors. A completely black screen. The following, I said back instead of black right off the bat, so I've got.
Kick it off there, Billy Ray.
Jesus, there's a quote on the screen that says, "Sleep, those little slices of death. How I loathe them." Edgar Allan Poe. We're in a bedroom now. Warren Zevon's "I'll Sleep When I'm Dead" blares from a radio as we begin a close-up montage. Y'all, this is Kristen building that popsicle stick Freddy house. And she builds the crap out of that house with popsicle sticks. And she's, is she listening? Is that Warren Zevon? There we go. I like that. Kristen is building that popsicle stick house over the credits, and she's drinking her Diet Coke with the coffee crystal. She is trying to stay awake. Her bedroom door opens and her mother enters. Elaine Parker, late 30s, dressed in an expensive evening gown that carefully displays her assets. She snaps the radio off.
Are you crazy? You'll wake the whole neighborhood.
Hi, Mom.
Don't hi, Mom, me. What are you still doing up? It's past 1.
I thought I'd wait for you.
Well, I'm home now, so you can go right to sleep. Come on, Angel.
It's okay. I'm not tired, really.
Kristen, don't start with me. You know what your shrink said.
He's full of shit.
I'm going to let you get me into an argument. I am not going to let you get me into an argument, goddammit. Not tonight. Now get in bed.
Kristen does as she's told. Her mother goes to the door and reaches for the light switch.
Mom, I'm still having these awful dreams.
Who's man?
I'm waiting for the VO saying a man's voice.
Oh, that's my fault. I'm gonna drink on that. I'm probably any of those little short lines like that. I'm probably just gonna skip over and let you guys go for it.
Okay.
That's my drink. I fucked that up.
One job, Hillary.
Elaine, where do you keep the boy button?
I'll be right down. Look, honey, I've got a guest.
And you don't want to keep him waiting.
That's right, I don't.
The door closes, shutting Kristen into darkness. She lies in bed, blinking back angry tears. She turns on her side, her gaze falling on the papier-mâché object. It is a miniature house glowing weirdly in the moonlight, a crude homemade replica of the Elm Street house. Then suddenly she's staring at it, hearing her mother's faint laughter downstairs. A breeze starts up, rustling her hair. Leaves fall across her pillow and face. Her mother's laughter fades out, replaced by the eerie giggling of small children. She awakes with a start. Her bed sits in the middle of the dark, deserted street in front of the Elm Street house, and small children are playing on the lawn. The boys are dressed in suits, the girls in pretty dresses, or party dresses, that too. They are jumping rope and chanting a sing song. Children, try singing this in unison over Zoom. This is going to be rich.
1, 2, Freddy's coming for you.
3, 4, better lock your door. 5, 6,
Grab your Christmas.
We did great, everybody. We did really good.
Haunting.
Really good.
Truly
One's on
haunting.
Xanax.
Kristen gets out of bed and approaches the children transfixed, except for one eerily pretty little girl sitting on her red tricycle near the front door, hair billowing in the breeze as she stares at Kristen.
Hello. What's your name?
Kristen, what's yours?
The little girl giggles and smiles shyly but doesn't answer.
What is this place?
The wind kicks up moaning. We hear the sound of wind chimes tinkling in the wind. The chimes are long razors. Kristen reacts. The front door of the house creaks open behind the little girl, darkness within.
I have to go now. Bye.
Ringing the bell on the handlebar, the pedals or tricycles through the door and is swallowed by the darkness inside.
Wait, don't go in there.
Too late. Kristen stands alone. Fighting her fear, she approaches the house. Inside, Kristen enters. The place is barren, empty. Broken windows, flaking paint, rotted walls, leaves skitter across the floor.
Little girl.
The children sense her presence and turn their vacant, staring eyes towards her. They scatter, vanishing into the shadows. She hears the jingling of the tricycle bell and the giggling of the little girl echoing faintly from deep inside the house, then silence again. Kristen comes around a corner just in time to see a glimpse of the little girl vanishing around the corner at the far end of a long, twisted corridor. The walls are streaked with rust, or perhaps dried blood. Kristen, she keeps following, being led. Kristen comes around a corner and finds herself facing a heavy steel door that is just closing with a solid metal clank. The riveted metal seems out of place in the rotted wood house. She goes to the door and pulls it open slowly, a stairwell leading down the darkness. She carefully makes her way down the metal steps into the boiler room. She fearfully enters Freddy's decrepit lair. Ancient rusted boilers stand cold and silent in the shadows. The soft jingle of the tricycle draws Kristen's attention. The little girl pedals out of the darkness and comes to a stop before Kristen.
This is where he takes us.
There is a sound of a screech of metal. Someone give me that sound effect. Perfect. The rusted furnace door is swinging open, metal grating on metal. Inside, the charred bones of children lie in heaps of cold ash. A tricycle lies in the carnage, identical to the little girl's only charred. Oh, okay, I misread that. Little girl's only charred. Kristen is horrified. Suddenly, a metal door slams loudly in the darkness. Thudding footsteps approach, booming closer. The little girl looks up at Kristen with sad eyes.
Freddy's home.
The music hits. Kristen scoops up the little girl and they go running away. They're running through hallways, running through the boiler room. Then at some point, Kristen steps in this weird glue mud substance that keeps her from moving anywhere. And that's when Freddy appears behind her, his silhouette anyway. He comes charging up behind her, and just before he slashes her, she gets out of the weird black goo that is holding her. Then she goes into a room where 100 teenage bodies hang from the ceiling, strung up in the darkness like butchered meat. She gazes in horror and screams loudly, only to bolt up in bed. She's at home again, in her bedroom. She looks around, recognizing it. She gets out of bed and walks unsteadily to the bathroom. She clicks on the light and looks at her reflection in the mirror. She turns on the sink and the water becomes too hot. Steam rises. She tries to turn it off, but the pressure increases. More steam. She fiddles with the handle. As she turns it, the four-pronged handle suddenly springs to life, grasping her hand. She screams. The other faucet handle begins to flex and stretch, turning into Freddy's claw hand. Screaming, struggling to break free. Freddy leering from the mirror, laughing. There we go. The claw hand rises up into frame, poised to slash Kristen's exposed wrist. She screams, grinning as a spray of blood hits the mirror. The door bursts open, revealing Kristen's mother. She screams. Kristen turns to her mother, slowly waking from her dream. She holds a bloody razor in her hand. Her wrist is slashed.
Mommy?
She collapses. Weston Hills Psychiatric Hospital, isolated and somewhat gothic, it's an enormous multi-winged structure built by the Catholic Church in the 1920s. A bell tower is its centerpiece. The hospital, dollying with Max, the burly black chief orderly as he makes his morning rounds. He wheels a rolling cart containing a variety of medications down the hall. A newscaster's voice comes from the small portable radio dangling from the cart.
In local nows, where all the news is now, 2 more teenage deaths have occurred. Both suicides. County health officials are at a loss to explain this alarming trend.
Grimacing, Max switches to a music station as Dr. Neil. What name did we decide on?
Gordon.
Gordon, that's it. It's Goldman in the scripts, guys. It's Gordon in real life. To a music station as Dr. Neil Gordon, originally portrayed by Craig Wasson, early 30s, bright and intense, falls in step.
Nothing like a little cherry news to start the day.
Say, listen, Doc, I got a new theory about all these suicides.
Don't hold back on us, Max. We need all the help we can get.
Fucked up chromosomes, man. Think about it. Their parents all dropped acid in the 60s.
It beats Dr. Sims' theory. She thinks it's nothing but sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
Shit, that's what keeps people alive.
Max sets its frame. Neil continues on. Jennifer, a girl of 14, approaches.
Good morning, Jennifer.
Sorry, guys. Hold on. I know how to drink. Morning, Dr. Goldman.
How's your hand?
She extends her hand for inspection. It is scarred with cigarette burns. She points to 3 different welts.
Menthol, regular, ultralight.
They're healing up nicely.
I've been good. When do I get cigarette privileges back?
Don't hold your breath.
Jennifer shrugs. It was worth a try. She moves on. Taryn, a 17-year-old blonde, approaches. She appears exhausted. Dark, tired circles under her eyes.
Oh, fuck.
Drink!
Drink!
Hi, Taryn. You don't look so hot, kid. Been getting any sleep?
She ignores him. Neil watches her float past, then jots a note on his clipboard.
Didn't think so.
He comes to the quiet room and peers through the small mesh grid window. Kincaid, an enormous and powerful-looking 17-year-old with a shaved head, is huddled in the corner of the white padded room, gazing at nothing. Neil makes a notation on his clipboard. Dr. Elizabeth Sims, the hospital superior, appears at his elbow.
How is he?
Cooling down.
If he continues having these outbursts, I'll have to have him isolated permanently.
Don't worry, it won't come to that.
They exit frame. The mesh grid window of the quiet room for a shot of Kincaid. He stares into space, singing softly under his breath.
I ain't gonna dream no more, no more. I ain't gonna dream no more. All night long, I sing this song, 'cause I ain't gonna dream no more.
I read the report on our new staff member.
And what did you think?
Frankly, I don't understand why some grad school superstar is being treated like a seasoned pro.
She's been doing groundbreaking research on pattern nightmares.
Elizabeth, we don't need any outside help. I don't know these kids. I don't want some hot shot taking chances with them just so she can get published.
He said kids.
Oh.
He also flubbed. He said he doesn't know the kids, and the line is, "I know these kids."
Good
Okay,
cat.
okay,
Good
okay.
cat.
All right, all right.
Making us drink here.
There we go. Sims is about to say more, but is interrupted by Dr. Goldman to examination, stat. They hurry down the hall. The nurse's station. Kristen's mother, near hysteria, is loudly berating a nurse.
Don't give me that shit. She's just trying to get attention, that's all. I'm not playing her little game anymore.
Neil and Sims rush past the examination room. They burst into a chaotic struggle. Kristen is going berserk, fighting the staff as they try to restrain her and wrestle her onto a gurney. The gurney goes crashing into the wall, and a frantic nurse addresses Neil.
Suicide attempt. They just brought her in from County General.
What's her name?
Kristen Parker. She was fine until we tried to sedate her.
Her face contorted with terror, Kristen kicks, god damn it, and bites and scratches as orderlies tried to pin her.
Watch it. She tore her stitches out.
Christian, we want to help you.
Max enters and takes immediate control. He shoves everybody out of the way, spins Kristen effortlessly around, and pins her firmly from behind. She tries to struggle, but he's too strong. She weakens.
Calm down, baby sister. That's enough nonsense for now.
Neil takes a hypo from the nurse and approaches Kristen slowly.
Kristen, I'm Dr. Gordon. I'm not going to hurt you. I'm just going to give you something to help you sleep.
Kristen goes berserk again and kicks Neil in the stomach. Max is thrown off balance and crashes onto a rolling cart. Medical instruments shower to the floor. Kristen grabs a pair of wicked-looking surgical scissors. She slashes at Max's hand, drawing blood.
Back off, Max.
Kristen huddles into a corner, ready to skewer anybody who gets close. A tense standoff.
Kristen, put the scissors down. Nobody's going to hurt you.
The girl makes no move to drop her guard. She starts rocking back and forth, coming apart at the seams, moaning a little song.
5, 6, grab your crucifix. 7, 8, better stay up late. 9, 10, never. Sorry, I'm a horrible singer.
She can't find the words.
Nancy.
You got to unmute Lisa.
Oh, Lisa's muted. I'm going to unmute. I asked her to unmute.
All right, I said my line, never sleep again.
I
Can
think
you hear me now?
I can. I think say your line again, but I'm going to drink because I didn't unmute you.
Never sleep again.
Yes. Instant silence in the room. All eyes go to Nancy Thompson, standing in the doorway. She's a young woman now, possessing beauty and great inner strength. Her hair still bears the white streak. She speaks as if coming out of a trance.
Who taught you that rhyme?
Kristen's eyes are locked with Nancy's. The staff members part before her as she walks to Kristen. She takes the scissors from her hand and Kristen falls into Nancy's arms, sobbing. Neil stares at Nancy in amazement. Hospital cafeteria. Neil and Nancy are finishing a late lunch in the nearly deserted cafeteria.
Tell me about the kids.
Drink.
Kids.
You'll get to meet them all tomorrow. They're survivors, in a way. All severely fuck my butt. All severely sleep disordered. Insomnia, narcolepsy, bedwetting.
But nightmares are the common thread.
Right. They seem to share a group delusion. A boogeyman, for lack of a better word. They're so traumatized they'll do anything not to sleep.
Anything?
We lost a kid about a month ago to Fairview. I don't know where he got the razor, but he cut off his own eyelids to stay awake.
Billy Ray, are we doing kid in addition to kids?
Just kids.
Just kids, okay.
Okay. Oh, God.
Ever work with vets? These kids act like they've got DSS, delayed stress syndrome. If I didn't know better, I'd swear they'd seen heavy combat.
Drink. That was a kid's with the S. That was a proper one.
Fuck.
I wouldn't be so sure they haven't.
What's that supposed to mean? By the way, that was great work with the new patient. Pretty smooth for an intern.
I've had some experience with pattern nightmares.
So I've been told. Practically an obsession of yours.
Call it passion. I've got to get going.
Make sure to check in with Max. He'll give you the 25-cent tour.
She gathers her things. Her purse falls over, scattering its contents, and a bottle of pills rolls out. Neil helps gather the items and picks up the pills. The label reads, Hypnosil, 60 milligrams, 1 to 2 tablets for sleep. She takes the pills and stuffs them in the purse along with everything else.
Thanks. See you in the morning.
Ms. Thompson?
Call me Nancy.
Only if you call me Neil. What was that nursery rhyme all about?
It's something children sing to keep the boogeyman away.
She exits. Neil stares thoughtfully. As Nancy turns and vanishes from sight, a nun in a white habit is revealed at the far end of the hallway, played by the actress who played Frida Claxton on The Golden Girls, by the way. She seems to be staring at him. People are wiping frame as they crisscross the hallway, affording mere glimpses of her. Neil, a bit self-conscious. Is the woman really staring at him? Then suddenly, she is gone. Hospital, day. Max is giving Nancy a tour.
The whole wing's devoted at
Drink, just drink, or just go ahead and wet your whistle there, bud.
Thank you. Don't mind if I do. The whole wing's devoted. Okay, see, it says "ot" this program. All right, so I should regurgitate that one, but I won't. All right, the whole wing's devoted to this program. That's your office.
A little basic, but nice.
I'll have a file cabinet in there before tomorrow. The patients' rooms are all down there.
Philip's room. Philip, 16, sits at the work table fashioning the face of a homemade marionette out of clay. Other marionettes hang from the wall, a comical dog, a white knight, a clown, etc.
This is Philip. We call him the Walker.
Why is that?
Because I sleepwalk. A perfectly normal event that our illustrious staff loves to theorize about endlessly.
Philip, this is Nancy.
Hi. Welcome to the snake pit.
Thanks. Nice work.
They really ought to be carved out of the wood, but they won't let me have a knife. I might, you know.
That lump over there is Kincaid.
Kincaid is lying on a bed reading a comic book.
Take a close look. He gets his ass thrown in the quiet room so often you probably won't see much of him. Right, Cool Breeze?
I do it so I don't have to look at your face all the time.
Right.
Max and Nancy move on.
They're good kids, but don't let them fool you. They're dangerous to themselves and each other.
Drink.
Yep, that's it. Panda Joey, a wan 16-year-old watching them from around the corner. He has a teardrop drawn in ink under one eye. Marcy, a cute 19-year-old candy striper, is wheeling a cart to a laundry closet. As she begins to load the cart with clean towels, several fall to the floor and Joey hurries over. He picks up the towels and holds them out to Marcy. She gives him a bright smile.
Thank you, Joey.
Joey grins mutely, obviously smitten. Lorenzo, a cocky, handsome young orderly, appears. And Lorenzo says,
"Oh, schlock."
I should have known. Rico, drink.
No, I usually don't have characters this close to each other, so yeah.
Surprise.
Hey, Marcy, he's going to C-Ward?
Yeah.
Well, come on. I'll walk you down.
They start down the hall, the cart still squeaking rhythmically. Marcy turns back, giving Joey a smile and a wave.
See you later.
Joey smiles weakly as he watches them go. At Kristen's house, Nancy guides Kristen's mother through signing a sheaf of hospital forms. Elaine is carefully and expensively dressed in fashionable tennis clothes.
Mrs. Parker, was Kristen acting different? Did you notice anything strange before she made the attempt?
Kristen specializes in strangeness. I've spent thousands on psychiatrists.
Did she always have nightmares?
They've gotten worse since I took away her credit cards.
Ooh.
I'm serious.
Look, Miss Thompson, I don't know what you want from me.
Just some answers. There are other kids involved. It's not just Kristen. All good kids, smart kids.
Double drink. 2 kids.
I'm sorry to hear that, but you're the experts on this, not me. If I had any insights, believe me, I'd share them with you.
I'm sure you would.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to go to the club.
Oh my God. I'll need to take her things.
The maid packed a suitcase. Teresa!
I'll get it, please. I don't mind.
First door up the stairs.
Nancy enters Kristen's bedroom and finds a suitcase on the bed. As she turns to leave, her eye is caught by the papier-mâché Elm Street house. Nancy is amazed, shaken. She reaches out slowly, almost afraid to touch it, but picks it up. At Neil's house, he's at his computer terminal in his study. It's an actual looking terminal because this was 1980 whatever. He hooks the modem to his phone and accesses a mainframe like you had to do back then. The screen comes to life blinking and he punches in a command. A readout appears, ticking down an endless list of drug categories. The glowing green letters read, Hypnocil, FDA classification experimental, effective for management of psychotic disorders, for sedation where dreamless sleep is considered optimal, suppression of night terror. He shuts down the computer and eases back in his chair. Nancy's in her apartment in a thin, high-tech reading chair engrossed in Kristen's medical file, the papier-mâché Elm Street house nearby. In Kristen's room, she's sketching a newsprint pad with charcoal, a rendering of that same house. She begins to nod. Her eyes flutter. We hear the distant, ghostly jingling of a tricycle bell. Kristen watches terrified as the tricycle rolls into the room by itself. Guess what? She fell asleep, y'all, leaving bloody tire tracks. The same tricycle that belonged to that little girl. It comes to a stop, then begins to glow red hot and melt, warping and sagging as if from an astonishing inner heat. She backs out the door, and we see it as the red Elm Street door. She pauses, realizing something is terribly wrong. Suddenly, the door slams shut. Kristen is now trapped inside. She tries to get out, but the door is locked. She turns looking for another means of escape. We hear a faint buzzing, getting louder and louder. The table is set for a formal dinner. The grotesque rotted remains of a roast pig sits on a platter covered with flies. That part used to creep me out as a kid. Kristen is revolted. The pig leaps up, squealing. Kristen is suddenly pulled down, vanishing beneath the surface of the liquid floor. The furnishings remain hanging in their own gravity. Kristen thrashes wildly in the pitch black water. She swims frantically, lunge bursting for air. Impossible to tell which way is up. A door hanging in watery limbo a short distance ahead. She swims for it, and she goes through. It is the Elm Street living room, foreboding and nearly barren of furniture. A large lump forms under the rug, Tremors style, and starts going after her. Then all of a sudden it jumps up, and it's a big-ass Freddy worm trying to basically eat Kristen like a snake. They call it a gigantic serpent worm version. And then Kristen says,
Nancy! Sorry, he was muted.
That's it. Nancy's dozing, but she hears that shit, and all of a sudden she somehow falls through her chair and is in Kristen's dream. Then the two of them start doing battle with this worm. Nancy starts running over, trying to get Kristen out of its gross-ass mouth, and then a mirror breaks. Nancy grabs a piece of that mirror and shoves it into the worm's eyes, and it spits out Kristen, finally spits out Kristen. And that's when the Freddy snake says, "You!" That's right. He recognized her ass. Roars as the snake face peels back like old parchment and instantly transformed into a mind-blowing skull snake Freddy with horns and double rows of razor teeth. Nancy grabs Kristen and barrel rolls out of the way. They scramble out the door. Nancy slams the door and fumbles with the lock, snapping it into place.
You pulled me in somehow, didn't you?
I think so.
The razor teeth burst through the door, splintering it.
Then get us back out!
Kristen tries to concentrate. The teeth tear a chunk from the door, and Freddy Beast's drooling snout lunges through, chewing, tearing.
Now, Kristen, do it now!
Wake up, wake up, wake up.
The door explodes, and we're back at Nancy's apartment. She thrashes awake. She is shaking in the aftermath of terror, her finch clinched tight. Suddenly realizing, she unclenches her hand. The palm is cut from the shard of broken mirror she plunged into Freddy Snake's eye. Hospital day. Nancy bursts in with the Elm Street house model under her arm and hurries down the hallway, right past Neil.
You're late.
Didn't get much sleep.
Well, we've got...
But she's already turned the corner and gone. Nancy rushes up to Kristen's room and locks it. Empty. Max appears, coming up the hall.
Max, where's Kristen?
She's been waiting outside your office since breakfast.
Nancy rushes around the corner and stops. Kristen is sitting patiently in the hallway outside her office. She stands.
I used to live in this house.
But it's just a house I've dreamed about. I dream about it all the time. Thank you for what you did last night.
Nancy and Kristen speak in Nancy's office in low tones with the door closed.
Have you ever done that before? Pulled someone into your dream?
When I was a little girl, 3 or 4, if I had a nightmare, I'd bring my dad in. The dream would always get better. He always used to tell me about it the next day. He used to think that they were his dreams.
When did it stop?
When I was still a kid. My folks got divorced. After a while, I thought I'd imagined the whole thing. I guess I didn't.
It's an amazing gift.
That man in my dreams, he's real, isn't he?
He's real.
Group therapy room. All the kids of the adolescent care unit are gathered. Kincaid, Philip, Taryn, Joey, Jennifer, and Will, a 17-year-old confined to an electric wheelchair. Kristen's a bit uncomfortable. She's the new kid. The general impression is of a blitzed out squad just out of heavy combat. Nancy takes of a blitzed out squad. Okay, no, they repeated it. Okay. I'm still going to drink. Nancy takes her place next to Elizabeth Sims as Neil closes the door.
Okay, groups in session. Straight talk only in this room.
Today, I'd like to start by getting us acquainted with our new staff member, Nancy Thompson. Let's make her feel welcome.
Murmur ad libs.
Oh, yeah, great.
Welcome.
Glad to have you.
Guys, I also got a quick request from the folks on the chat who've requested that anytime it says that people scream, that they actually scream.
No.
Oh, that's what they want.
A general chat note. Let's continue.
Now, let's see. You've already met Philip, Kincaid, and Kristen. Why don't the rest of you tell Nancy something about yourselves?
Neil absently toys with the row of hanging metal balls on one of those click-clack kinetic toys sitting on the table. No volunteers.
Will, how about you first?
Well, I'm Will Stanton, and I've had a little accident, as you can see.
Accident my ass. I thought this was supposed to be straight talking here.
Hey, so we took a jump. At least he wasn't sticking needles in his arm with a bunch of lowlifes.
Oh, save it, Kincaid. Jennifer?
I'm Jennifer Caulfield. When I get out of here, I'm going to LA to be an actress. I'm going to be on TV.
Yeah, lifestyles of the rich and psychotic.
Screw you, man. This is Joey. He used to be a debater in school. Now he doesn't talk much.
Joey grins at Nancy shyly, nodding his head in greeting.
I'm Taryn White. I only came here because it was a better deal than Juvie Hall. Also, I guess because I'm going through some very strange shit.
Your dreams?
Hey, everybody has bad dreams.
Can I interject something here just to save us all some time?
Go ahead, Philip. Fuck me. Drink.
According to our kind hosts, our dreams are a group of psychosis, sort of a mellow mass hysteria. The fact that we all dreamt about this guy before we ever met doesn't seem to impress anybody.
Murmur, murmur, murmur.
Yeah, you're right.
So we go in
Yeah.
circles and making minimal progress with maximum effort.
And you won't make any progress until you can recognize your dreams for what they are.
And what are they?
The byproduct of guilt, psychological scars stemming from moral conflicts and overt sexuality.
Great. Now it's my dick that's killing me.
Tell them, Nancy. Tell them what's really going on.
Yes, tell us, Nancy.
All I can say is this isn't something that's going to just disappear. You're all going to have to face it, fight it. And if you're willing to work together, willing to stand up to your deepest fears, I think we can beat it.
The expression of the kids reflect a quiet mix of hope and fear. They are impressed, all except Kincaid.
My deepest fear is listening to any more of this rah-rah bullshit.
Will in Joey's room at night. Will sits in his wheelchair with his Dungeons and Dragons game spread out on the table before him. Taryn's not really into it, but she's playing along. Joey sits nearby, following the game with rapt attention. Taryn throws the dice. Will refers to his Dungeon Master's card. It features the illustration of a wizard in flowing robes. Magical lightning crackles from his fingertips.
Okay, you're attacked by the bog demon. Go ahead.
14.
Doesn't count. You got to say the words.
This is stupid.
Come on.
In the name of Elric, Prince of Elves, demon be gone.
Good. You conquer the demon, but your horse is sinking into the bog. What do?
I go to bed and get a new horse in the morning.
She exits. Will turns to Joey.
How do we score that? Enchanted slumber or death?
Gentlemen, It's lights out.
Oh, Max.
You know the rules.
Okay.
Max lifts Will gently out of his wheelchair and lays him on his bed.
You too, Joey. Night, boys.
Max turns out the lights and exits.
You get the first shift tonight.
Joey throws back the covers and sits up. He shakes his head and points, indicating that it's Will's turn.
Come on, I had it last night. Okay, just keep your eyes open. One whimper and you wake me up.
Joey nods. At a Mexican restaurant, Neil and Nancy are having a quiet dinner.
This is nice.
Never been here before?
Must have opened while I was away at school.
Most authentic Mexican food in Springfield. Fuck.
Thank the Simpsons.
I'm dead.
Most authentic Mexican food in Springwood, which isn't saying much. Your parents still live around here?
My mother's dead. Died in her sleep.
Sorry.
Okay. My father and I, well, the family just seemed to fall apart.
Sounds like a rough time.
It was. Neil, do you believe in other realities?
I've been to Pittsburgh. Does that count?
I'm serious.
Okay. I believe in different levels of consciousness, that sort of thing. But if you're into UFOs or Atlantis, you've lost me.
What if I told you your patients are in real physical danger from their dreams?
That's a new one. Is that what they're teaching now at Stanford?
That's what I know.
The nightmares are nothing but a symptom of their real problems.
All right, then let's eliminate the symptom for the time being.
What's hypnocil?
Drink for hypnocil, and also
That's
Scott.
2.
Right, that's 2 for you.
Whoops. With hypnocil?
That's right.
You want me to prescribe an experimental psychoactive drug to a bunch of suicidal teenagers?
Just until we get things under control.
Dream deprivation is nothing to fool around with. You have no business taking it yourself.
I used to be like them, Neil. I know what they're going through.
So do I.
Do you? You told me they're survivors. And they are. But how much longer they survive is up to us.
I'm sorry, Nancy. The answer is no.
Philip and Kincaid's room. Philip and Kincaid lie sleeping in their beds. He moans softly, Philip does. Perhaps a troubled dream. The marionettes hanging on the wall, an eerie collection of moonlit figures. The unfinished marionette raises its gray, misshapen head. The crude clay features ripple and change into a distinct likeness of Freddy. Sharp razor claws generate from the stubby clay fingers. The Freddy marionette swipes his claws at his strings, cutting himself loose, and lands in a cat-like crouch. As he straightens up, he starts to grow. Grow? Yeah, grow. Okay, fuck it. Philip stirs, his eyes open. The Freddy marionette rises into view at the foot of the bed, growing into the full-size Freddy. Phillips opens his mouth to scream, but Freddy holds a finger to his lips, signaling for silence. Philip gasps for breath, suddenly paralyzed. His blanket is magically snapped off the bed. Freddy flicking down with a single blade, quicking, precise. Again and again, Philip in excruciating pain, unable to move a muscle. Looking down at Philip, clean, nearly bloodless incisions have been made down the length of each arm and leg. One long strand of sinewy muscle tissue leaps up out of each incision. His muscle strings go taut. He's lifted from his bed. Kincaid stirs awake and sees Philip is walking out of the room, apparently just sleepwalking.
Hey, Philip, wake up, man.
Favoring Philip, his terrified eyes are bulging as he leaves the room, being manipulated at the end of his strings like a marionette. In the background, Kincaid rolls over.
Have a nice stroll, asshole.
Philip is puppeted slowly down the hallway. Tears roll down his cheeks as he rolls his eyes wildly, looking for a way out of this nightmare. No use. He has no control over his movements. A night nurse is doing paperwork at her station. Nearby, a janitor mops the floor. Neither of them notice Philip as he sleepwalks past in the background. They should probably both be fired. The Philip marionette moves out of view. He walks into a wall and dissolves right through it. No idea why. So much for hospital security. Joey is sitting by the window in the dark, wide awake. Passing time, a movement catches his eye and he glances out the window. The bell tower. It stands stories above the rest of the massive, rambling hospital, the apex of all the wings of the building. The archway at the top of the bell tower, the small, pale figure of Philip stands on the ledge. Joey staring in horror, mouth opening and closing as he tries to call for help. Weeping with terror, Philip sees at the lip of the ledge over an awesome, dizzying drop. The courtyard is far below. The strings jerk Philip forward and back, toying with him. Frantic, Joey turns from the window and drags Will out of his bed. Will is groggy, disoriented.
Are you crazy? What are you doing?
Joey drags Will across the floor to the window, pointing. Will sees Philip on the bell tower.
Oh, shit. Get help.
Joey races from the room.
Philip! Philip!
Joey runs to the nurse at her station, gesturing in panic. He hops around frantically, motioning for her to come.
Joey, what's the matter?
He freaks out and grabs a metal tray off the counter. The nurse's dinner goes flying. Joey runs down the hall, slamming the tray against the walls. The kids appear from their rooms in a state of confusion. Staff members come running. Will is still pounding the window, hollering. Joey runs in. The others pour in after him.
Philip, wake up!
On the ledge, Philip teeters on the edge. He looks up, eyes pleading and with tears. A giant transparent Freddy, seen from the waist up, looms in the night sky, higher than the bell tower. He is leaning over the building from behind as if it were a marionette stage, laughing maniacally as he puppets Philip, laughing just like this. Freddy draws back his claw hand and slashes out, slicing Philip's strings. The puppet spell is broken. He screams.
Ah!
Arms windmilling frantically as he falls from the ledge. Philip plummets from the tower. There is a horrible thump as Philip impacts. Some kids are screaming, some are crying, all horrified beyond words. The staff members are helpless as bedlam reigns. The next day in the group therapy room, the kids seem sullen, fragile, disconnected, without hope. Neil looks beaten down, less self-assured than usual. Philip's death has shaken him.
I want to talk about what happened last night. Let's all get our feelings out in the open.
The kids hold silent for a long moment, and then Kincaid offers a grudging appraisal.
It wasn't strong enough, so we got wasted. That's all.
That's all? Is that what you think?
He couldn't hack it and he got nailed. Period.
Oh, yeah, big, tough, badass. How long you gonna last?
Longer than any of you.
Go ahead and fight. That's what he wants.
Ooh.
You know who. What does he want?
To turn us against each other. So we'll be weak. Easy prey.
Horse shit.
No, she's right.
All eyes go to Nancy.
I think we're all missing the point here. Philip's death was a sleepwalking accident, nothing more.
I could see him up there. His face. He was wide awake all the way down.
Then it was suicide. Philip quit. He copped out.
Joey says it wasn't no suicide.
Joey, listen to me. Philip killed himself, and that's a cowardly thing. An empty thing. He let himself down. He let all of us down.
It was murder. Can't you understand that? That bastard murdered him. You never know when he's going to come. Sometimes for days, nothing, then...
All right, I've heard quite enough of this. How long before you're ready to face yourselves? How much longer can you keep blaming your dreams for your own weaknesses?
How much longer are you gonna blow smoke up our asses?
That's enough, Kincaid.
There will be no repeat occurrences of last night's events. From now on, your doors will be locked during sleeping hours. We'll begin a policy of evening sedation for everyone.
A terrified reaction from the group. Nancy shoots Neil a sharp look, shaking her head.
The fuck you will. Anybody tries to drug me gets their asses kicked.
You just bought yourself a night in the quiet room, mister. Now sit down!
Fuck you. You sit down.
Sims presses a button, summoning help. Neil rises, prepared to protect Sims if necessary.
Easy, Kincaid.
Axe and another orderly enter. Kincaid starts to freak. He kicks a chair at them, screaming.
Nobody's gonna put me to sleep. Nobody's gonna put me to sleep.
The orderlies get Kincaid into an arm lock and wrestle him, fighting and kicking out the door. Sims follows the struggle out into the hallway. Neil and Nancy join her. Sims, flushed and livid, watches Kincaid get dragged away. She turns to Neil.
We'll begin sedation tonight, starting with him.
You can't. They'll be defenseless against their dreams.
That's precisely what they need. Some uninterrupted REM sleep to release all this negative energy.
Neil, please.
Neil pauses, wavering between Nancy and Sims, and he finally comes to a decision.
Elizabeth,
He comes to a new, different decision.
Elizabeth, I'm prescribing Hypnosil.
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 It's a dream supplement.
Drink.
I think you mean suppressant.
No, I meant supplement.
I know what it is.
It's also a dream suppressant.
I know what it is. I just can't believe what I'm hearing. What has she talked you into?
Nothing. They're my patients. It's my decision. I want the dream stopped until we get some answers.
I won't allow it.
I'll go straight to Carver if I have to. He'll either get my back. Fuck me running. I'll go straight to Carver if I have to. He'll either back me up or accept my resignation.
If something goes wrong, I'll make sure you're held responsible. Fully responsible.
She exits.
Hold on, fuck.
Who's up?
Who's
drinking?
I'll give you one guess who's drinking.
Oh, I'm drinking?
That ain't me.
Nope.
Okay. Wait, hold on. I'm sorry. I hit the wrong button. Okay, I'm coming up on it. Don't worry. Everyone go.
Be right back after these messages.
Yeah. Little technical difficulties. Don't worry about it. What was the last line?
Fully responsible.
Okay, who had the last line?
Sims.
Flannery, you got another song in you?
Page 40. We're on page 40. And in the meantime, go to carerescuela.org and make a donation to our charity.
Okay, I see what I did now. It's a very simple mistake.
Billy Ray, if people make a donation, what should they do then?
I got it.
They should send us a screenshot so they can wear it on a Blu-ray Plus pack.
There you go. And drink.
I can't believe I just did that.
Do you think we can get the Hypnosil by tomorrow?
Hypnosil.
Hypnosil.
We're gonna try. I hope you know what you're getting us into.
Hospital hallway. Max, as he walks his way down the hall or works. God damn, it's rubbing off on me.
Oh, no, it's not. No, it's my fault.
Spot checking the dorm area. Nancy appears.
Max.
And then Rico says,
God. And I was talking all that shit.
We're doing great, everybody.
Can't take me anywhere. Zoom. Putting in some late. See, it was a typo again. I will not drink for that. No, screw it out.
You should have Chuck Russell on the line to take a drink for all of these typos.
I know, right? I know. Wait, yeah. I'll be wasted. Putting in some late hours, I see. If you're trying for OT, you're in the wrong place.
I just wanted to be here for the kids. How are they?
Kids?
Kids.
Oh, yeah.
Damn kids. Restless. Very restless.
Kristen appears at the door looking sleepy and exhausted.
Nancy, would you sit with me a while?
Sure.
Need me. I'll be here all night.
Thanks, Max.
Goes to join Kristen in her room. Taryn, wearing robe and slippers, emerges from the women's bathroom and shuffles back towards her room. Lorenzo, the young orderly, appears in her path, twirling a key ring.
Hi, sweet stuff. Good news.
Can't be good news coming from you.
Pulled night duty. Tremble's sick.
So,
got keys to heaven, baby.
what?
There's dispensary. I'm talking clean pharmaceutical high. A night at club, meth.
I don't do that shit.
He grabs her wrist, exposing her arm. Her skin is scarred with old needle tracks.
What are those, beauty marks?
Those are ancient history.
Oh, yeah? Well, if you're ever in the mood for a history lesson, I'm your teacher. Understood.
Stay out of my face or I'll go straight to Max.
I am Max. I mean, now who's gonna take the word of a crazy junkie chick like you?
Fuck off.
And we should also comment on the fact that Lorenzo's obviously a pedophile.
Yeah,
So,
I mean,
just saying. TV room night. A rather drab institutional room with secondhand couches on chairs. Jennifer sits in a worn armchair watching the TV, a massive old metal RCA. She is fighting sleep, but starting to nod off. Max enters.
Girl, what are you doing?
Watching TV.
Yeah, I can see that. You watch too much damn TV.
Research.
All right. You gonna be a TV star?
Wait and see.
If Sims catches you in here after lights out, she'll chew my ass ragged.
I gotta stay up, Max.
Jennifer.
Just tonight, please. I can't handle the nightmare. Not tonight. Not after Philip.
You get caught. I never saw you. Deal?
Deal. Thanks.
Max exits, shaking his head. Jennifer turns back to the TV. The late show drones on. She shakes herself, still fighting to stay awake. She digs a hidden pack of cigarettes from under the chair cushion and lights up. She takes a deep drag, then, wincing with pain, burns her hand with the lit cigarette. Anything to stay awake. In Kristen's room, Kristen lies in bed. Nancy sits nearby in a chair. It seems she may keep an all-night vigil. She notices an array of gymnastics posters taped to the wall.
You like gymnastics?
I was on the team at school. I was never very good, though.
We're not always as good at things as we like.
Yeah, but I was really not good. Yeah, but I was really not good. I'm taking it that was a typo.
Evidently.
I'm glad you're here.
Nancy pauses, wrestling with the decision. She digs into her purse, pulls out her bottle of Hypnocil, and shakes the contents into her hand. Just 2 pills left. She gives them to Kristen.
What are they?
They'll keep the dreams away for tonight.
TV room. Jennifer is still fighting to stay awake as she watches TV. She switches around with the channel changer, stopping on a Dick Cavett interview. His guest is Sally Kellerman. Jennifer nodding out again.
Well, that is the great American dream, isn't it? To come to LA and be a TV star.
Well, I suppose it.
The image sputters with snowy interference. Jennifer's eyes are fluttering.
Find a good teacher. An actor has to study to learn. I think that's crucial.
Who gives a fuck what you
think? Good job, guys. Jennifer, her eyes snap open, her body stiffening. She stares at the TV screen, nothing now but static. She's frowning. Must have imagined it. She rises and smacks the side of the set, trying to get the picture back. Nothing. Suddenly, 2 arms rip from each side of the TV set and grab her by the shoulders. The arms are a horrid hybrid of Freddy's arms and RCA tubes and wiring. She screams as she is lifted off the ground. Freddy's head grows and stretches out of the top of the set, wearing the rabbit ear antenna like some horrible insect. Jennifer keeps screaming.
This is it, Jennifer. Your big break in TV.
Yeah.
Welcome to prime time, bitch.
Finish your drink. I hope you timed it like I did. He rams her head into the screen with hideously brutal force. There is an explosion of glass and electrical sparks. Cut to the cemetery because she is dead. A Midwestern cemetery on a rolling hillside. A gentle drizzle falls on a crowd of mourners clustered at twin gravesites. A priest intones the eulogy. Among the mourners are Dr. Sims, Max, Nancy, but Neil is missing. Max and Nancy staring at the caskets as they're lowered. Neil is standing on a rise overlooking the funeral. He's under the shelter of a large oak tree, but is still soaked by the drizzle. He stares down grief-stricken, his tears masked by rain.
Don't be ashamed, young man. This is a place of sorrow.
There's a nun in white standing close by. Neil saw her in the hospital hallway earlier. She appears in her 60s, played by that actress from the Golden Girls yet again, but carries herself with a strength that belies her years. Neil wipes his eyes.
What faith do you follow?
Science, I suppose.
A sad choice.
There are times when it doesn't offer much comfort. I've seen you before. Sister?
Mary Lena.
You do volunteer work at the hospital.
I come from time to time when I'm needed.
Neil turns his gaze back toward the funeral, lost in his own private grief.
I could have saved them.
Only one thing can save the children. The unquiet spirit must be laid to rest. It is an abomination to God and man.
I beg your pardon?
Neil?
Neil turns and moves to the edge of the rise as Nancy crests the hill. The services have ended. The crowd is dispersing.
What are you doing up here?
I was just talking to...
No. She's gone.
To who?
It doesn't matter.
Come on, let's get out of this rain.
As they head slowly down the hill, the nun is fingering a rosary and whispering a prayer as she watches them go. Nancy's apartment. Neil's at the window, staring out at the rain. He speaks quietly, almost as if to himself.
I used to think I could do something about it. Make some kind of difference. But they keep slipping through my fingers.
He raises a nearly empty wine glass and drains the last sip. The remains of a Chinese takeout dinner is spread on the floor, and Nancy is crouched near the fireplace, feeding paper cartons to the flames.
Stop blaming yourself.
I'm running out of answers. A patient sleepwalks out of security ward up to a tower with no access. A girl, alone in a room, dies by jumping 6 feet straight up into a television set. Nothing makes sense anymore.
Then maybe you're ready.
For what?
The truth.
Try me.
Only if you're willing to put aside everything you've learned and trust me. Can you do that?
I can do that.
Group therapy room. Nancy closes the door and faces the remaining kids, Kristen, Kincaid, Will, Taryn, and Joey. Neil sits by with a clipboard on his knee, and Dr. Sims is conspicuously absent.
Okay, straight talk only in here.
Is this group?
Well, unofficially.
Pretty soon there won't be enough of us left to call it group.
Listen up. Nancy's got something to say.
I know who's trying to kill you.
Don't fucking humor us. We're not in the mood.
He wears a dirty brown hat. He's horribly burned. He has razors on his right hand.
Who is he?
Freddy Krueger. He was a child murderer before he died. After he died, he became something worse. 6 years ago, Freddy killed my friends. He almost killed me. And I thought I got rid of him, but I guess he was too strong.
Thick silence.
Why is he after us?
Yeah, what did we ever do?
It's not what you did. Your parents, my parents, they burned him alive. We're paying for their sins. You're the last of the Elm Street children.
Mom and Dad? That's crazy. They never said.
Oh, sure. That's just the sort of thing parents tell their kids. Good night, honey. Don't forget to say your prayers. Oh, by the way, your father and I torched some maniac last night.
Kids?
So what do we do about this creep?
Last time, it was me against him. I wasn't strong enough alone.
But together.
Kristen's the key. She's got a very special talent, a gift.
I haven't been able to do that since I was a little girl.
You did it the other night.
Well, that was different.
You never lose a gift like that. You just forgot how to use it. How about it? Will you try? Each one of you has an inner strength, some special power you've had in your most wonderful dreams. Together, we can learn to use these powers if we try.
You sound like Peter Pan.
Remember, open mind.
Okay. I'm going to do a fuck.
I'm sorry, Doctor?
I'm sorry, I had something cut in my throat. Okay, we're going to try a little group hypnosis.
He turns to a high-tech chrome pendulum device sitting on the tabletop and flicks the switch. The pendulum rocks slowly from side to side as a tiny blip of high-intensity light flashes intermittently. Everyone stares at the device.
I want all of you... Fuck. I want you all to follow the pendulum with your eyes. Tune out everything else. Nothing else exists but the pendulum.
Take us there, Christian.
Breathe deeply and relax. Starting with your toes, relax everything until there's no tension left in your bodies. None at all. Keep following the pendulum. You find yourselves getting tired. Nothing would feel better right now than a nice, long, deep sleep. I'm going to count backwards from 5, and when I finish, you will all be asleep. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Kristen's eyes snap open and she looks up. Everyone looks up. The room is still the same. Nothing has changed. Neil switches the device off.
Kristen, you're muted.
Oh shoot, I thought it was Neil. My bad. I'm sorry. Literally.
Everyone's disappointed. Everyone reacts disappointed.
Come on, guys.
Jesus Christ.
We can try again.
Everybody take 5.
Several kids stand up to stretch their legs, and Neil turns to Nancy, drawing her aside.
Look, I was willingly going along with this for the kids' peace of mind and yours, but you've got to face reality.
Kids? Joey, oh, thank you.
Oh.
Joey's at the water cooler getting a drink. He pauses, hearing the rhythmic squeaking of a cart. Marcy, the cute candy striper, appears just outside the door with it. She sees him and stops. Joey gives her a goofy grin, totally in love. Marcy looks around to see if anybody is watching, then smiles and gestures to him. Joey glances around and slips out the door unnoticed. Marcy checks again to make sure nobody is watching, then motions for Joey to follow her. He hurries after. In the group therapy room, the kids are still taking a break. Neil is absent-mindedly, he's an absent-minded professor, toying with the metal click-clack balls.
Neil, let's try one more time. If it doesn't work, I promise.
Neil raises the end ball and sends it into the others. Instead of click-clacking, they simply float apart into midair. Nancy gapes as the metal balls float past her head. All activity comes to a standstill. Everybody stares.
We're here.
Where here?
Yeah, we're in the dream.
Neil staring at the balls, rapt and fascinated.
Don't be silly. We're in group.
In my dreams, I can walk. My legs are strong.
They all turn to see Will standing straight and tall, just like FDR. No sign of his wheelchair.
In my dreams, I'm the dungeon master.
He plucks the metal ball from the air, holds it in his fist, and blows in one end. A fantasy dragonfly appears out the other, because cool.
We made it, Neil. We made it.
This isn't possible. And even if it is, what the hell am I doing here? Did you drag me in here too?
Try something, Kristen. What can you do in your dreams?
Kristen takes a few steps back, then launches herself into a perfectly executed series of twisting hand flips, Mary Lou Retton style, across the room.
A perfect score. The crowd goes wild.
Kincaid picked up a metal chair and twists it open like a paperclip with his bare hands.
Fucking A, dig this.
Kincaid, please. That's very unnerving.
Hey, check out Taryn.
Taryn becomes a breathtaking street punk, like something out of a rock fantasy. Shimmering platinum hair swept back in a wild mohawk and sleek black leathers with delicate silver chains.
In my dreams, I'm beautiful.
She flicks open a knife.
And bad.
Yes.
Nancy and Neil looking around, still trying to grasp it all in his professor brain.
Okay, take it slowly. Remember, this is a dream. Anything is possible.
Anything?
Neil closes his eyes and concentrates, trying an experiment, and suddenly all of his taxes are done. No, I'm just kidding. He opens his eyes and sees Nancy.
Very good at my taxes, sir.
He opens his eyes, and Nancy is now wearing a frilly negligee.
Oh, God.
Oh, very funny.
What the?
Everyone laughs and hoots.
Nice dreaming, Doc.
In the dorm room, it is an
I'm very
unoccupied
horny.
Marcy leads Joey in. She closes the door softly, then turns to him.
Listen, Joey, I just wanted to get you alone for a second. I mean, look, I really like you.
He steps closer and Joey gulps.
Do you like me? This may sound crazy, but I make up excuses to come into the ward every day just to see you. You're so cute.
Joey's eyes widen. She sits him on the bed and stands in front of him.
I could get into a lot of trouble for this, but I know you won't say anything, will you?
Joey shakes his head violently. She turns her back to him.
Unzip me.
Joey reaches up and unzips her with his shaking hands. She turns back and shrubs off the uniform. She is wearing only skimpy panties. She is magnificent.
Do you like my body, Joey?
Joey is overwhelmed. Marcy pushes Joey gently back on the bed and crawls on top of him with sinewy grace. She starts unbuttoning his shirt and kissing his chest. She kisses his mouth, her tongue probing deeply. Too deeply. Joey gags and draws back, but Marcy's tongue grows supernaturally long and burrows deeper into his mouth. Joey is choking. He grabs the writhing tongue and tries to pull it out of his mouth. The tail end of the tongue leaps out of her mouth with a life of its own. Both ends of the tongue creature whip around his wrist and yank it back, twining around the bedpost like a bullwhip. A second hideously long tongue shoots out of her mouth through the air and lashes his other arm to the other bedpost with a thwack. Freddy's maniacal laughter rings out a little something like this. Joey looks up. Marcy's head has been replaced by Freddy's. That's hot. His grotesque laughing face perched atop her lovely body.
What's
wrong, Joey?
Joey?
I thought you liked my body.
That was haunting and ethereal. Two more tongues fly from his mouth simultaneously. Joey's feet are lashed to the footbed board. Looking directly down on Joey writhing on the bed, the mattress drops away beneath him, descending a shaft exactly its size. The mattress is engulfed in a fiery inferno below. Joey is left suspended over a hellish pit of flame, trying desperately to scream. In the group therapy room, the lights suddenly dim and flicker out. Everybody comes to a standstill, looking around apprehensively.
What's happening?
He's close.
Freddy?
He's heavy in the halls.
Where's Joey?
What?
Freddy's got him. We've got to help him.
Bill grabs the door to throw it open, but yanks his hand back as the knob glows red hot. The door begins to scorch and sizzle as the room gets just as fucking hot.
The room's changing.
The walls begin to close in. The group is backed into the center of the room as it becomes rounded, cylindrical, like the inside of a furnace. Rivets appear as the wall becomes scorched steel plate. Neil staggers back.
This is crazy. It's crazy.
He looks down. His feet are slogging through smoldering ash. He steps on a child's charred rib cage, because that's okay. It crumbles and snaps underfoot like a brittle leaf. A tiny skull churned up. As his hands are burned, the group looks around helplessly as the smoke gets denser. Roaring flames. The furnace door slams open to reveal Sim standing in a perfectly normal hospital hallway. Total silence.
What's going on in here?
The group therapy room. Neil, Nancy, and the others are seated in their chairs, heads coming up as they waken. They gaze around, still confused.
What's wrong with Joey?
Joey is lying unconscious on the floor near his chair, arms and legs spread eagle, in the same pose as being lashed to the bed. Sims rushes over and checks him.
He's not breathing!
Neil pushes her out of the way and kneels over Joey, desperately giving him mouth to mouth. Tied on Joey, lying in a coma, hooked up to monitoring devices. The neurosurgeons exit the room, and there's Dr. Carver, the supervising physician of Weston Hills, stewing in controlled anger. Dr. Sims is self-righteous now that her predicted disaster has now taken place. He's in a deep coma. There's nothing we can do for him. The neurosurgeons walk away. Carver turns to Neil. And Dr. Carver says,
Oh, wait, what page are we on?
Page 58. Someone's drinking.
My script disappeared for a second and I got lost.
You've got the Scott disease.
Okay, I'm drinking.
The fuck is that?
I say, is that what I should? I say, this is inexcusable.
Inexcusable.
That was good, actually. It actually does say inexcusable in the script. Good job.
I mean, those previous two scenes, I think I would say are inexcusable.
Inexcusable was a Richard Grieco movie in 19.
Anytime you want to come on, Richard. Anytime.
The session was unauthorized. It was purposely conducted without my knowledge.
Unusual steps were called for.
Is that what I should tell this young man's parents? I understand you prescribed a highly experimental drug.
Oh, shit.
Nancy.
Okay, fine. Dr. Carver, he's not in a coma because of the, how the hell do you say that drug? Hypnocil?
That's it. Drink.
Yay.
Young lady, your opinion is of no interest to me. Furthermore, according to Dr. Sims, you've been creating panic among the patients.
Well, that's not true.
Dr. Goldman, in the last 4 days, we've had 2 suicides. Now a boy is in a coma. I think it's fair to say your approach has failed entirely. You're both relieved of your duties. I want you out of here today.
Dr. Carvey.
I'm sorry, Neil. You brought this on yourself.
For God's sake, Elizabeth. Just try to help the kids, will you? Listen to them.
Kids.
Oh,
Right.
of course.
She exits.
What are we going to do?
There's nothing we can do. It's out of our hands.
He walks away. She watches him go, then
What are we
looking
gonna
at Joey.
do?
She is desolate. Neil has packed several boxes of personal files at the hospital into the trunk of his BMW. He places the final box in, and it's stuffed with drawings from the kids and some photographs. A picture of a group picnic featuring Neil with Jennifer and Philip. That's gotta fucking hurt. He stares sadly at the picture for an extended beat. As he slams the trunk, the unused wing of the hospital is revealed in the background. It is old, untended, and crumbling. A shrouded white figure is standing in one of the upper floor windows. He stares at it. It's the nun from the funeral. He chases her for a while, and he screams,
Sister? Sister!
The only feature in the dead-end hallway is a partially open rusty iron door with a small barred window. A faint buzzing arises and falls from within. He's still chasing after her, and then he says again,
Excuse me, sister?
no answer. Just another swell of faint buzzing, squealing loudly. He enters a huge, shadowy, dungeon-like room. Flaking cement pillars stand. Rusted remains of bed frames. It's a really nasty room.
Hello?
A wooden match ignites near him, going off like a gunshot in the stillness. The nun is revealed.
This is where it began.
She turns and lights a candle in a tiny alcove before a statue of the Virgin Mary. Dim light sputters up.
Why, this wing's been closed for years. What was this place?
Purgatory, fashioned by the hands of men, twisted, lost souls. The worst of the criminally insane were locked away in here like animals.
The whole facility was shut down in the 40s, wasn't it? Some kind of scandal.
A young girl on the staff was accidentally locked in here over the holidays. The inmates managed to keep her hidden for days. She was raped hundreds of times. When they found her, she was barely alive and with child.
My God.
That girl was Amanda Kruger. Her child?
Oh, Freddy.
The bastard son of 100 maniacs. Some say he was murdered, though no body was ever found.
Neil is momentarily distracted by another swell of buzzing. A fly brushes past his face in the darkness.
You said something before about laying him to rest.
You must find the remains and bury them in hollowed ground.
Hallowed ground?
He moves to follow her, but his foot comes in contact with something near the bottom of the steps. The buzzing swells and he jumps back. The grisly carcass of a cat stares up at Neil, hundreds of flies swarming in its desiccated flesh. Pausing at the top of the stairs.
If your only faith is science, Doctor, it may be you that's laid to rest.
Aw, snap! As she exits, the door begins to creak slowly shut behind her, plunging the room into darkness. Neil scrambles up the steps and grabs the door just before it closes shut. Neil heaves a sigh of relief as he exits the pit and looks around. The nun has disappeared. In intensive care, Nancy sits at Joey's bedside, gazing at the boy, so still, so frail. She speaks in a whisper, but her voice is fierce.
Let him go, you bastard.
On Joey, short slashes suddenly begin to crisscross his smooth chest. Nancy reacts in horror. Neil enters.
Neil?
He comes to her side and looks down. The slashes spell out a message in crude, bloody letters. Come and get him, bitch. Nancy and Neil gazing on in horror. In Neil's
Billy Ray, before we cruise into the third act, why don't we put out a call for donations one more time?
That's a wonderful idea. Woo. Our charity for this evening, if you have to pee, now's the time to do it. The charity for tonight is Care Rescue LA, and you can make a donation to them at carerescuela.org, and it's a wonderful organization that basically they help abused and injured animals, and they help educate the public, which is also super important, about how to prevent that and about how to keep these animals safe. And as someone who really, really wants a dog but can't because my landlords won't allow it, I really sympathize with their plight. So make a donation as much as you can, and if you donate it and send us a screenshot of that donation, the largest single donation will get a 3 Blu-ray prize pack of Never Sleep Again, the Nightmare on Elm Street documentary. You will also get the Chuck Russell film, the 1988 remake of The Blob, and you will get the Arnold Schwarzenegger action classic, Eraser. Woo! It's worth it for fucking Eraser alone.
Oh. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
It's got that sweet, sweet alligator seed.
Gotta love it.
Yeah, that's right. So, so please donate to the charity, carerescuela.org. And now back to the action. In Neil's BMW, the car glides down a meandering road, leaving Weston Hills behind. He's driving, Nancy beside him.
You're not going in. That's exactly what he wants. As long as you're on Hypnosil, it's the only way he can get to you.
Hypnosil. Hypnosil. There we go.
Oh, God.
Man.
Don't you think I know that? I don't have any choice.
Bullshit. Getting yourself killed won't do the kids any good. Besides, we do have a choice.
Kids.
Yeah.
I'm getting empty. I'm empty.
We all are, Nancy.
Same. Assuming your mysterious nun is right. In right? That's what it says, is right.
It's a very well-worded script.
I've heard crazier things this week.
Classic Frank Darabont, am I right? Just full of typos.
All right. Whoever she is, I'll admit that she seems to know more about Kruger than I do.
The question is, what happened to Freddy's body?
They buried him to death in his boiler room, but they were smart enough to hide the remains.
Who would know where they were hidden?
There's only one man, and it's time for him to talk.
Ooh. Tied on Kristen's face in the hospital hallway, she lets out a wail of total anguish that sounds a little bit like...
No!
She struggles with Max and Lorenzo as they try to restrain her.
You can't send them away. You can't. They're all we have.
They weren't helping you, Kristen. You're a sick girl. You can only get better if you trust me now.
Kristen is fighting like a wildcat. Momentum carries her and the orderlies into the nurse's desk and sends them sprawling in a shower of desktop items. She hurls a heavy stapler in Sim's direction before Max and Lorenzo grab her again. They manage to pin her, but barely. The kids are peering fearfully up the hall at the spectacle.
Get her to the quiet room and sedate her!
Kristen is dragged down the hall fighting and kicking.
You stupid bitch! You're killing us! Killing us!
In Little Nemo's Tavern. Tavern is too nice a word. It is a dive bar with a flickering neon sign on the worst side of town. The sort of place you wind up when you have no place left to go. A dark, grubby figure sits in the deep foreground, nursing a beer and staring at nothing. His unshaven face is hard and bitter, haunted by old sorrows. He wears a sodden, rumpled night watchman's uniform.
Hello, Father.
Donald Thompson looks up slowly from his beer, and Nancy stands nearby with Neil.
Well, if it isn't my little girl, come to visit her daddy.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, but here you are. How'd I get so lucky? I thought you were trying to forget I was alive.
That's not true. You're the one who's trying to forget.
She sits across from him.
I need your help. Kruger's back.
Freddy Krueger's dead. You always had a little trouble understanding that, my little princess. It's true.
You know what he did, and he's doing it again.
She's telling the truth.
I don't recall we ever met, friend. And I don't believe this is any of your business.
Neil is taken aback for a moment. He's about to retort, but Nancy silences him with a look, and she leans into her father.
I think we can stop him this time. Stop him for good, but we need to know where the bones are hidden.
I lost too much already, and I'm through with it.
People are still dying after all this time. Stop running from it. Daddy, please, don't make me beg. You owe me.
Thompson meets his daughter's gaze, then averts his eyes. He takes a slow draw on his drink.
Nancy.
Hey!
Wait, no, we skipped. We got a line before that.
Wait.
I gotta say goodbye to my daughter. It's been
Thompson.
nice seeing you, baby.
Drink, Scott.
Don't stay away so long next time.
Nancy can't handle another moment. She
No.
bolts from the table as tears come.
Oh.
Neil glares at Thompson and hurries after her. Neil follows her to the restroom alcove where she is trying to pull herself together.
Nancy.
I'll be okay. Just give me a minute.
He wants to comfort her, but really doesn't have the words. He stands by looking miserable. His beeper goes off. He checks for the number and crosses to the payphone. It rings. Terrence snatches it off the wall on the first ring, and Will and Kincaid are with her.
Dr. Gordon?
Taryn? Was that you? What's the matter?
You gotta come right away. It's Kristen. She had a total shit attack when Sims told us you and Nancy got fired.
Oh, Christ. Sims put Kristen in the quiet room for the night. They sedated her.
No.
She's too doped up to stay awake for long. She's alone in there. Alone! Freddy's gonna get her!
Okay. None of you panic. Just stay cool. Help's on the way.
We've got to get over there now. We have to make Sims understand.
You go. I'm gonna get the remains.
Well, it's no use. You saw how he is.
Just go. Kristen needs you. Keep her awake somehow. Do it.
Nancy takes the keys. Their eyes lock for a long, intense moment. Then they share a spontaneous, passionate kiss. Finally, the kiss we've all been waiting for. Nancy turns and leaves without another word. Thompson sees his daughter leave, then turns his blank gaze back to the beer. Neil casually walks over, but Thompson ignores him.
I'm Neil Gordon. Pleased to meet you. There, we met.
Suddenly, unexpectedly, Neil lashes viciously out with his foot and kicks the table over. Everything goes flying. Before Thompson can so much as blink, that Craig Wasson rage hauls him out of his chair and slams him violently against the wall. Neil and Thompson, nose to nose. Neil speaks with barely contained rage.
Listen up, asshole. I don't know if you care whether Nancy lives or dies, but I do. You and I are going on a little scavenger hunt.
Thompson stares at Ron Burgundy, dumbfounded. In the quiet room, Kristen wanders in aimless circles in the confinement of the small padded room, weeping with despair as she desperately tries to stay on her feet.
Please, God, please.
She stumbles and lurches into the wall, held up by sheer luck alone. She pushes herself away, staggering, but movements are jerky and uncoordinated.
Don't make me sleep.
In Neil's car, Nancy's at the wheel, steely with determination as she speeds back to the hospital. In a church, a small church in a poor neighborhood, Thompson's battered old Dodge grinds to a stop at the curb.
What the hell are we doing here?
Neil reaches over, shuts off the ignition, and takes the key. There is a pint bottle of whiskey jutting from Thompson's jacket pocket. Neil snatches the bottle.
Oh, fuck. Hey.
Hey! That was my hay.
Fuck. I'm sorry.
Let's go back.
Okay, it's good. It's
Neil,
No, it's fine. I got excited. I'm sorry.
Neil snatches the bottle before Thompson can react.
Ah. What are you doing with my thing?
Neil gets out of the car. He empties the contents of the pint bottle on the pavement as he hurries towards the church. 3 worshipers are seated in the pews, seeking comfort in silent prayer. Neil rushes in the back. He sees a small basin of holy water and starts filling it up. He comes to a candle shrine. A huge crucifix is attached to the wall above it. He grabs the cross and tries to lift it off its mount. It comes loose with a loud clang. Lifted off its mount. It comes loose with a loud clang and a jarring sound in the silent church. Worshippers turn to look. Feeling conspicuous, Neil turns to find himself facing a priest.
Hello.
What are you doing?
Look, I'm sorry, but I need this. I swear I'll reimburse you, really. Here's my driver's license. I'll be back.
Neil hurries out, leaves the baffled priest holding the driver's license. In the hospital, Nancy enters, hurrying towards the quiet room. Max appears, blocking her from the quiet room hallway.
Max, I have to see Kristen.
Max shakes his head.
You don't understand.
The big man holds up his hand for silence.
And he unmutes himself.
And Rico unmutes himself.
Delivers the line. Max, dramatic. There we go.
I got it. Save your breath, Smith. Yeah, I told you I got it. Save your breath, Mrs. Thompson. Dr. Sims gave me specific instructions. Nobody gets to see Christian, especially you. She made that real clear.
Max, she needs me. It could mean life or death.
Look, I think you really mean well. My kid's been dying off. Even if I didn't have orders from Sims, I wouldn't let you near her. No way.
Kids.
Ah.
Nancy backs down. There's no way she'll get past Rico.
Okay, Max. I understand. Can I say goodbye to the others?
I don't know.
It'll be my last chance, please.
Oh, you got 5 minutes.
Thank you.
She heads towards the dorms. She comes around the corner. Taryn, Will, and Kincaid have been waiting for her, frantic with worry.
What'd you do? Take the scenic route?
Shh, no time for that. Come on.
Where?
Our last group.
In a junkyard. It's a big-ass junkyard. Towering stacks of gutted cars glitter in the moonlight like the crusty bones of some long-ago dinosaur graveyard. It is an awesome, twisting maze. Thompson's Dodge pulls up to the gate. The headlights reveal a faded sign on the tall chain-link fence. Penny Brothers Auto Salvage.
In there. Charlie Penny owns the place. Meaning no one would ever find it. I'm not even sure I can find it. Again.
How do we get in?
They used to keep a spare key.
Thompson steps out and crosses to the wood stacked structure that serves as the junkyard's office and reaches under the porch. Thompson steps into the headlight beams and unlocks the rusted padlock. Suddenly, a vintage junkyard dog shoots up into frame, barking and slavering just inches from his face, rattling the chain link fence.
Oh, Jesse James, don't you remember me, boy?
That dog, probably saved by Care Rescue LA, our charity for tonight. He swings the gate open and offers an open hand to the dog. Jesse sniffs the hand suspiciously, then wags his tail.
Attaboy.
He turns, motioning to Neil to bring the car through. Neil scoots to the driver's. That sounds like something Neil would do, is scoot. Neil pulls the car. God damn it. It stops at the mouth of the maze. Thompson secures the gate. In the car, Thompson gets back into the passenger side, and Neil is suddenly playing chauffeur.
All right. I think it's deep in the heart of this place. Just take it slow.
Back in the group therapy room, Nancy closes the door and turns to the kids, and they look at her, waiting.
Okay, straight talk only in here.
What about Kristen?
We can't get to her. I've tried.
She dims the lights and goes to the pendulum device probably bought at Brookstone.
I was hoping we'd have much more time to learn how to use the dreams. But Joey's in there, and Kristen's going in with or without us. They need us.
You mean we're gonna try to go in with her to link up?
It's now or never. I won't kid you. This is as dangerous as it gets. If you die in the dream, it's for real. Nobody has to go in that doesn't want to.
Long silence. Their faces reflect conflicting emotions. Fear, dread, anticipation.
I'm in.
Me too.
Oh shit. I lost the page.
Let's go back to dread, anticipation.
I'm
Page
in.
74.
I'm in.
Me too.
Let's go kick that motherfucker's ass all over Dreamland.
There it is. Her face reflects the same emotions, the whole motherfucker ass kicking thing. But mostly there is pride in the kids. She turns the Brookstone pendulum on and sits with them.
Now remember, whatever happens, stay together. That's the only way we can beat them.
They stare intensely at that goddamn pendulum.
Clear your minds of everything.
In the graveyard, Thompson's car pulls slowly around a tight corner and to the amounts to a small clearing deep in the labyrinth of stacked autos. Thompson and Neil gets out, the weak headlights of the old Dodge illuminating the towering heaps of rusted metal surrounding them. Thompson peers out and then points.
That's it. The caddy.
The rear end of a ravaged 59 Cadillac sticks out from beneath a huge stack of automotive carcasses, its rusted tail fins jitting like the spines of some prehistoric beast. Neil crosses to the car and runs his hands over the corroded surface of the trunk. He tries to lift it, but it's locked tight. Thompson stands behind the Dodge. He takes a swig from a pint bottle and glances around in the darkness nervously. Neil finds a large four-pronged tire iron, 3 ends for long nuts, the other end a sharp wedge. He jams it under the trunk lid and applies pressure. Neil leans in closer to the trunk as he strains against the tire iron. It explodes in a cloud of rust. Gazing in, there's an ancient, crusty burlap sack lying in the shadows of the trunk. Thompson silently eases behind the wheel of the Dodge, carefully not to draw Neil's attention. He's going to get the hell out of here. But there are no keys in the ignition. Thompson looks up, glaring at Neil through the windshield. Neil holds up Thompson's keys.
Going somewhere?
I showed you where the goddamn thing was. I didn't say I'd stick around.
Neil tosses Thompson a shovel.
We've got work to do.
What are you talking about?
You're about to attend a funeral, one that's long overdue.
Back in the group therapy room, Nancy and the kids are staring at that Brookstone pendulum, faces slack. Nancy's voice is a soft hush. They are being lulled into a dream state.
Picture yourselves in the quiet room, the soft white walls, the total silence, just the sound of your hearts beating. Picture yourself there with Kristen. I'm going to count backwards from 5. And when I'm done, we'll all be asleep. We'll all be in the quiet room.
In the quiet room, Kristen is slumped in a corner, face against the wall, totally incoherent now. There is no more fight left in her. She is fading. Fading!
Nancy.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Nancy?
Nancy and the others are now in the quiet room with Kristen. Kristen looks around crying and happy that her friends are here. She hugs them in turn. A sweet, teary reunion.
I knew you'd come.
He didn't think we'd let you go alone.
No fucking way. We're a team.
Joey needs us. I can feel him.
How do we find him, Kristen?
4 huge razors slash through the canvas. Rip. Cotton padding flies. The group reacts as the razors vanish, then rip from the wall directly beneath them or behind them. God damn it. Everyone moves to the center of the room.
Whatever happens, stay together.
Cotton padding billows through the air as the razors slash through the wall again and again. Front and front, from behind, from the side, from the floor, from everywhere. The quiet room becomes a white void of ripping and slashing, a vicious blizzard of whirling padding. The blades lash out from the billowing clouds of cotton, and he's forced back. Taryn screams as the blade flies past her. How does she scream? Okay, go.
Taryn, oh, okay. Hold hands! Find each other!
Kristen is screaming, panicking, spun around in the blizzard, lost.
Nancy!
Okay. I asked people on the chat who they wanted to take a drink for just no goddamn good reason, and they voted Kira. So Kira, that's your
Thanks,
call.
guys.
That's
Okay.
people on the chat, that's their fault. The blizzard of cotton padding dissipates and slowly vanishes. Kristen looks up. A dream. She's sitting at her drafting table in her bedroom at home. The crude paper mache Elm Street house model is in front of her, still under construction. Warren Zevon's "I'll Sleep When I'm Dead" is still blaring on the radio. Nothing has changed. She's still home, safe. She wonders if all of it, everything, has been nothing but a bad dream. Her mother enters, dressed in the same beautiful evening gown, and snaps the radio off.
Honey, you'll wake the whole neighborhood.
Mom?
What are you still doing up? It's past 1.
I thought I'd wait for you.
Well, I'm home now, so you go right to sleep. Come on, Angel.
She turns down the covers and Kristen crawls onto the bed and throws her arms around Elaine's neck in a spontaneous hug.
What's that for?
I'm just glad you're home.
Elaine gives her a kiss and tucks her in. She goes to the door and reaches for the light switch.
Mom?
What?
I had such an awful dream.
Man.
And a man's voice comes from downstairs.
Elaine, where did you get the bourbon?
Thank you.
I'll be right down. Chris, I've got a guest.
Can we talk just for a minute?
Can it wait till morning?
Please, Mom. I just don't want to be alone.
Suddenly, Elaine is violently yanked out the door, revealing Freddy, framed in the doorway, wearing immaculate formal wear, screaming at Elaine.
Bitch, I said, where's the fucking bourbon?
He sweeps his razors down at her. Kristen is screaming. Grinning insanely, Freddy leaps into the room, holding Elaine's decapitated head up for Kristen.
Oh, you should listen to your mother, Kristen.
Elaine's head dangling in Freddy's grasp, blood dripping from the neck. It jabbers at Kristen in a glassy-eyed harangue.
God damn it, Kristen. You always ruin everything. Every time I have a man over, you spoil it. You know what your shrink said. You're only trying to get attention.
She's screaming and screaming. Freddy drops the head and lunges at her. Claws swiping the air. Kristen rolls out of bed as Freddy claws tear her pillow open in an explosion of feathers. Kristen turns and runs. Freddy right on her heels, his finger blades mere inches from her back. Kristen's momentum takes her right up the wall. She pushes off in an incredible gymnast flip, hurtling up in an arc back over Freddy's head. Freddy hits the wall, his finger razors burying deep in the plaster, and somewhere off the side, Bella is applauding. Kristen makes a perfect landing near her bed and snatches up her bedspread. Freddy howls with rags and yanks his razors from the wall in an explosion of plaster. He whirls and dives at Kristen as she flings the bedspread over him. He tangles up, going down hard, thrashing to get free. Kristen hurtles herself out the window in an explosion of glass. Ripping and slashing, he wrestles the bedspread off him and hurls. It's a fucking bedspread, everybody. He looks around, howling with rage. Kristen explodes the Elm Street house through a skylight in the living room ceiling and drops to the floor in a rain of glass. Bruised and battered, she rises to her feet and looks around, lost.
Nancy!
Whirling cotton fills the screen, dissipating to real Terran in her full Dream Warrior splendor, platinum crest of hair shimmering. She finds herself in a twisting hallway in the dreamscape and hears Kristen's faint call.
Kristen, is that you?
She hurries up a passageway and turns a corner. Freddy leaps from the darkness, blades flashing. Terran nimbly dodges and whirls, producing 2 large gravity knives. She click-clacks them open, twirling them expertly.
Okay, asshole, let's dance.
Freddy gives her an evil smile and squares off against her. They circle each other, then Freddy lashes out. Terran ducks and cuts deeply across Freddy's ribs. Freddy screams with anger and more. Ripping deep gouges in Terran's shoulder. Terran draws back, keeping her guard up. She faints, then strikes out, slashing Freddy again. This time Freddy draws back.
Terran, why should we fight? You and I are old friends.
Terran stands poised, ready for anything.
Let's get high.
He raises his hands into frame. His fingers have all turned into oversized hypodermic needles, their needle-sharp tips glittering in the darkness. Terran, revolted by the weird display, she looks down, feeling something strange. Her needle-track scars are expanding and contracting like tiny, sucking mouths, hungry. The instant her guard is down, Freddy lunges at her and buries both sets of hypodermic fingers into her arms, pinning her into the wall. She screams! As their inner plunge is depressed, Terran's biceps swell grotesquely, veins bulging impossibly. We can actually see the high-pressure fluid travel upward as her veins and body balloon, racing from her arms. Her neck swells, temples expand, eyeballs bulge, then the top of her head literally explodes.
Damn. What a rush.
Elm Street basement, moving with Will. He holds a torch high in one hand, a saber in the other. He looks like a thin pirate out of a Dungeons and Dragons game.
Hello? You guys, where are you?
He hears a sound somewhere in the darkness ahead. He pauses. Nothing. Suddenly, there's a sound of screeching metal and a strange object comes racing out of the darkness at him. He lunges out of the way. The object screeches to a halt and wheels about. It's an oversized, nightmarish version of Will's wheelchair, made of rusty, twisted metal and bristling with spikes and hooks. To sit in it would be agonizing death.
You look tired, Will. Have a seat.
Will whirls about to see Freddy leaning nonchalantly against a pillar.
No thanks. I'm fine just the way I am.
For now. But when you wake up, you're back in the saddle again.
Will is visibly upset by this and reacts too slowly as the wheelchair bears down on the gun. Will is sideswiped and knocked to the ground, his leg bleeding. The chair spins around, preparing for another turn.
It's the chair for you, kid.
The chair will smoke, burning rubble as it launches itself at Will.
I'm the dungeon master. I'm the dungeon master.
Will suddenly levitates to his feet. A wizard's robe swirls about him as crackling electricity plays at his fingertips. Just like the illustration on the Dungeon Master game card, the wheelchair roars over. Green lightning explodes from his fingertips and shatters the wheelchair into fragments. Freddy reacts in surprise. Will looks up at Freddy, grinning with his newfound power. The dancing lights emanating from his fingers cast a weird glow across his face.
In the name of Elric, Prince of Elves, demon, be gone!
Will rushes at Freddy, shooting wizard's fire. The crackling green energy engulfs Freddy completely. But, Freddy grabs Will by the front of his shirt and lifts him off the ground. Freddy snarls into Will's face as the living energy twines around him.
Sorry, kid. I don't believe in fairy tales.
Freddy buries his claws in Will's chest. The blade points just out of Will's back as his death cry echoes down the halls. At the Elm Street house, Kristen wanders through the twisting, distorted hallways of the dreamscape. She hears Will's scream echo and fade away.
Hello? Anybody?
Kristen?
She turns and sees Nancy.
Nancy.
They rush towards each other, a strange crunching sound.
What's that?
I don't know.
The sound comes again, a horrible cracking and snapping. The wall begins to spiderweb with cracks as it bulges outward. Something big seems to be trying to press through to cut them off from each other. Suddenly there's an explosion of wood and plaster, and Kincaid steps through.
Yo, I thought I heard voices.
Nancy and Kristen yell with delight.
Yay!
Kristen throws her arm around him.
Yay! I could kiss you.
Well, what's stopping you?
Kristen is taken aback for a moment, then gives him a chaste but sincere kiss on the mouth, and he grins.
Cool. So where's Joey?
I don't know. It's like a maze in here.
Then it's time to stop guessing. It's time to start messing. Freddy, where you hiding? You pussy!
Kincaid, we should find the others first.
You hot shit with the little mute kid. Let's see how you take a piece of me. Kruger! Huh. I knew he was a chicken shit.
Suddenly, the lights around him flicker and dim. They hear a deep, reverberating groan of metal. All look over the railing.
Shit.
Where before there was nothing, there are now two huge rusty boiler room doors, and that's when Kincaid says,
shit.
The tree slowly descends down the stairs, all bravado lost. They stop before the immense gate. Within lies flickering darkness and twisting steps leading down. Oh,
Is it
Nancy.
me?
It's a Nancy.
Sorry, where are we? 87?
Top of 87.
Kristen nods. Kincaid, let's snuff the fucker. Did he say that?
This
right?
is it. Yeah. Are you ready?
Oh shit, I missed. Okay. Shit. This is it. Are you ready? I have to take a drink.
Let's snuff this fucker.
They descend into the boiler room where Nancy, Kristen, and Kincaid cautiously come down the winding stairs and pass under an archway made of twisted, scorched tricycles and shattered dolls. They exchange worried looks, obviously. A surrealistic boiler room, air red with heat and haze. Freddy sits on a throne made of children's skulls and bones. Joey is nearby, suspended over the pit of flames like a weird altar. Welcome to Freddy Hell.
Look, Joey, all the little piggies have come home.
Joey turns his terrified, pleading eyes towards his friends. His skin is hot and blistered, the tongues that lash his hands and feet to the four-poster writhing slowly, licking his ankles and wrists. He opens his mouth in a mute, silent scream.
Joey?
Let him.
Joey.
Let him go.
Freddy sweeps his hands, the obedient servant.
Your wish is my command.
The tongue creature securing his left wrist unravels. He drops precariously. The other tongues begin to loosen their hold. Nancy lunges to the edge of the pit, reaching for Joey. Freddy laughs maniacally, like this. The last tongues give way and Joey drops, just as Nancy snatches his wrist and hangs on. Kincaid grabs Nancy by the belt and hauls them both back out. Kristen, with a cry, she runs and does a double flip over the burning pit right at Freddy. Kristen snap kicks right into Freddy's face, toppling him and the throne backwards. Kincaid strains as he rips a 6-foot section of pipe from the wall and races towards the throne. Nancy helps Joey to his feet just as a tongue creature flies out of the darkness and whips around her neck, strangling her. Freddy rises from the rubble of his throne and lashes at Kristen. She flips over his head, but Freddy backhands her, sending her spinning across the room. Nancy, clutching one end of the writhing tongue, she forces it to the ground. She grabs a furnace pocket and skewers the creature. It instantly unravels from her neck. As Freddy prepares to slash Kristen, Kincaid races in, swinging his pipe in a wide arc. It smashes across Freddy's back, driving him to his knees. Kincaid raises the pipe for a second blow, but Freddy leaps up with a roar and grabs Kincaid, hauling him over his head. Nancy rushes in just as Freddy's arms are extended and plunges the poker into his heart. Everyone freezes. Freddy looks down at the poker with an exaggerated gasp and flashes a grin at Nancy. Nancy reacts in horror. Freddy releases Kincaid's feet and holds him dangling by the throat. With his free hand, he pulls the poker slowly from his chest. He looks at the tip. It glistens with dark, rancid gore. He licks it like ice cream cone. Nancy and Kristen rises, using Nancy for support.
Nancy!
He's too strong. He was never this strong.
Freddy whirls to her, Kincaid still choking in her upraised fist.
Yes, the souls of the children.
He rips his shirt open, revealing his hideously scarred body.
They make me stronger.
His flesh begins to undulate and swell. Rippling blisters appear, forming into faces, horrible, tortured faces, wailing in despair. We recognize Philip, Jennifer, Will, Taryn. Nancy and Kristen, total horror and revulsion, an insane, gleeful grin, and a guttural whisper.
Always room for more.
In the graveyard, the burlap sack is lifted out. Neil drops it beside a freshly dug grave. Freddy flinches in pain. He looks up in fear, suddenly aware that somebody's disturbed his bones. His fear is slowly replaced by an evil, cunning grin. He vanishes. Kincaid finds himself struggling and choking in midair. He drops to the ground, gasping for breath. But in the graveyard, Thompson crawls from the shallow grave and throws the shovel aside.
What the hell good is this supposed to do?
Ignoring him, Neil picks up the tire iron and holds it up.
This will be our headstone.
He jams the tire iron into the ground at the foot of the grave. It looks like a cross.
What was that?
What?
Listen.
Neil now hears the faint sound of rock music on the night breeze.
Somebody else is out there.
No, we're alone.
Another song snaps to life, the song you're hearing. In the wrecked Chevy, we can see Neil and Thompson through the cracked windshield of the rusted out Chevy. The radio suddenly lights up, blaring another rock song. More music comes from all around them, blasting from the radios of long dead autos, a cacophony of rock songs from the 50s and 60s. We hear the howling of Wolfman Jack. Broken headlights sputter to life. A windshield wiper near Thompson slaps madly back and forth across shattered glass. Horns honk. An exposed fan blade whirs like a buzzsaw.
Sorry. The whole place is coming to life.
Both men turn to look at the burlap sack. There is a slight stirring from within. Neil hurries over and grabs the sack to throw it into the grave. Suddenly, a skeletal hand wearing finger razors tears through the rotted burlap and latches onto Neil's wrist. The sack whips right open as Freddy's charred bones leap into life. A hideous, shambling skeleton screaming with unearthly rage, a little bit like this. Frozen to the spot, Thompson can't believe his eyes. Neil falls back, scrambling away as Freddy's blades slash the air inches in front of his face. Suddenly, Jesse, the junkyard dog, hurtles out of the darkness onto the hellish thing's back, biting and snapping. The skeleton pulls the dog from its back, slashes its throat. Oh, God, we're sorry about that. In one quick motion and tosses the carcass aside. Something that's what the people at Care Rescue LA try to avoid from happening.
Right.
So donate to them right now at carerescuela.org. Something snaps in him as he glares at the skeleton.
It's really you.
It turns and grins hideously at Thompson. Thompson grabs a piece of pipe and rushes to the monster.
I'll send you back to hell where you belong.
The creature meets Thompson's rush head on, blocking the pipe and yanking him off his feet. It hurls Thompson through the air with incredible force. Thompson slams into the Cadillac, impaled on the tail fin. He looks down at the metal point jutting from his chest and dies. Neil grabs the shovel and swings it. The skeleton ducks and slashes Neil's ribs, ripping the shirt wide open. As Neil doubles over, the skeleton rips the shovel from his hands and smashes it solidly against his head. Before Neil can crumple, the creature straightens him up with a second vicious blow. We hear bone crack. Neil falls back into the grave. The skeleton shrieks with unholy laughter like this and begins to shovel the loose dirt onto Neil. It tosses the shovel aside, raises its arms into the air with a victorious howl, and collapses into a pile of bones. In the Elm Street house, Nancy, Kristen, Kincaid, and Joey exit the boiler room, limping, battered, and bloody. They face the weird perspectives of the Elm Street halls.
Kristen, can you pull us out?
They sedated me. We're stuck here till it wears off.
All right, let's try this way.
They start down a corridor and enter a sewing room. Eerie mannequins. What a way to spell mannequins.
Oh,
Gee, MANNIKINS.
Is this the original script?
No, this is well, obviously they've done a little transcribing to this script for them to spell mannequins that way. And an ornate three-way mirror stand in the shadows.
It's a dead end.
Suddenly there's an activity in the mirror, a wavering light. Then Freddy materializes. An infinity of Freddys are reflected in the three-way mirror behind them.
Sorry to keep you waiting. Perhaps if there were more of me to spread around.
Freddy runs into the room magically, followed by rows of his mirror reflections.
Holy shit, he's multiplying.
Just like Michael Keaton in Multiplicity, the room is suddenly filled with dozens of Freddys slashing and chasing our heroes. Nancy leaps over a wicker basket to escape a Freddy. As the second Freddy lunges, she jams a knitting needle through its throat. Kristen springs over a group of Freddys, catching a wall fixture and flips across the room. Kincaid with a battle cry like this. plows into the charging Freddies, bowling them over. Joey cringes back, cowering over the mannequins, once again spelled horribly. The mirror, more Freddies pouring into the room. Nancy is backed into a corner, torn with the slash marks. Kristen delivering flying kicks, but slowing down. A Freddy grabs her from behind, holding her from the others. Kincaid goes down under the sheer weight of Freddies, crawling all over him, slashing. They're just too goddamn many. Joey steps out from behind the mannequins, shaking with emotion as his friends are overwhelmed. None of them can last one more minute. Then a few seconds longer, he opens his mouth and...
No!
An incredible, deafening, universe-shaking cry. Joey has found his dream power.
Incredible.
The three-way mirror is blown into fragments. All the Freddies exploding into shards of hurtling glass as Nancy, Kristen, and Kincaid cover their ears. Joey finally stops. Total silence. He looks just as surprised as everyone else at what he's done.
Wow. Did I just say that?
You sure as shit did. You saved our asses.
He's gone. We got him.
Hey, man, put me down.
The junkyard, tied on the grave, a bloody, dirt-encrusted hand grasps the edge of the grave. A second hand follows. Neil slowly, painfully pulls himself out. He has an ugly wound on the side of his head, and his collarbone's broken, but he's alive. Gasping with pain, Neil crawls to the pile of Freddy's remains with tremendous effort, which sounds a little bit like this. He pushes the bones over the edge into the grave, and they tumble into the earthen pit. In the sewing room, Kristen helps Nancy to her feet as she brushes away the shattered glass of the Freddy's.
Are you okay?
I think so. It's over. It's over. Daddy?
Wait.
Oh, wait. Sorry.
Yeah.
Shit.
We'll go back from it's over, it's over.
It's
Yeah.
over. It's over.
Do we have Andras?
Daddy? Nancy?
Nancy turns.
Sorry, I thought I was done. I didn't know.
You got Ghost Dad.
Okay.
It's just like Rick all over again. I never get out of this movie.
Oh, that's right.
Where are we going from?
Let's go from
Princess. Don't
let's
worry,
go from-
Nancy. I'm here. I crossed over. Don't worry. I'm all good.
Let's
Crossed
go back.
over?
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, but I couldn't go until I told you how sorry I am for everything I've done. I love you so much. I'll always love you. I really will. But I gotta go. No more daydreams.
You let me know when you're done with your improvisation there, Andras.
Nancy
Are you
goes to
done?
embrace her father one final time.
Okay. I'll always love you, Dad.
Her words are
I'll
cut
always
short.
love you, Dad.
Dad, brother, dad. Who knows?
Her words are cut short as her body jerks violently. Thompson is wearing Freddy's glove, the razor's buried in Nancy's stomach. Her eyes wide and staring as she realizes
No.
as Thompson's face disappears and is replaced by Freddy's.
Die, bitch.
He jams the blades in deeper. Neil, using his one good hand, grasps the bottle of holy water and corks it with his teeth. He presses it to his forehead and closes his eyes.
Please, God, for the children, for Nancy, ashes to ashes.
He flicks a stream of holy water onto the bones. Freddy, still locked in an embrace with Nancy as she dies, screams as a pattern of holes rip across his body. Bright shafts of light burst through.
Dust to dust.
He flicks a second stream of water. Another arc of holes explode across Freddy's body. He arches back, shrieking. And Nancy slides off his blades. Kristen runs to her. Neil holds the crucifix. He leans down and presses it against the skull.
Lay this spirit to rest.
A cross-shaped hole explodes from Freddy's forehead. Brilliant, blinding white light pours out. Freddy staggers back, riddled with glowing holes. We see a whirlwind of spirit faces pouring from him. His souls of his victims soaring out, freed at last. Kincaid and Joey awestruck as they watch. Freddy, the holes expand, eating Freddy alive, and his scream echoes like this. Across the dreamscape, the shafts of light from his body merge into one white, hot-ass ball, then explodes. Freddy is gone. Kristen cradles Nancy in her arms. Nancy is drifting towards death.
He's gone. It's over. Please don't die, Nancy, please.
I'm so proud of you all. And tell Neil
She sags against Kristen. Kristen
I
shakes
won't
her
let you
head.
die. I won't. I'm going to dream you. I'm going to dream you into a beautiful dream forever and ever.
She closes her eyes and holds Nancy tight. At the cemetery, 3 caskets are surrounded by a large number of mourners. Kristen, Joey, and Kincaid watch tearfully. Neil, wearing a neck brace, puts his arm around the kids as the caskets are lowered. He notices movement. It's the nun. He leaves the funeral and goes after her and then says,
Sister. Wait.
He rounds the crypt, but the nun has vanished. There's a simple headstone that reads, Here lies Amanda Kruger. Her name in Christ, Sister Mary Helena, born 1907, died 1968.
My God. You were his mother.
At Neil's house, the seasons have changed. A blanket of freshly fallen snow. A VW Rabbit with New York plates is parked in the driveway. In Neil's house, Kristen and Neil have finished a meal together and are sipping wine. Her hair is shorter. Neil looks thinner, a little weary.
I'm glad things have worked out for you.
I think New York was just what I needed. So many people. I never feel alone.
The city that never sleeps. It's not funny. So what will you do now?
I don't know. I'm busy with school, new friends, but I'll never forget the old ones.
2 old friends and your new dreams.
To old friends.
At Neil's house, Neil is at the door, seeing Kristen off.
It was great seeing you again. I'm glad you dropped by.
Do you still see each other?
Yes. I'm going to see her tonight.
Will you say hi? Good night.
Neil closes the door. He's alone in the empty house, and he turns out the lights and trudges slowly downstairs. Now he's in bed, drifting off to sleep. The tight, weary look has gone from his face, and he looks peaceful, contented. Pan to the papier-mâché model of the Elm Street house. It's different now, clean and pure and inviting. A lovely little place, in fact. And then the lights come on. And that's the end of the movie. Woo! And that is Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3, Dream Warrior. Now, I have a quick question.
Sorry, you got me drunk and I messed up. Sorry.
I need to ask Lisa and Andras. Do you guys prefer this version, this sequel, better than your own, or do you think your own is a better film?
I think we have different responses to that, Lisa. Why don't you go first?
Well, I didn't hear the question. I was getting a drink.
Oh, yeah. What do you prefer, Dream Warriors, or do you think Dream Master is the better of the Nightmare on Elm Street sequels?
Oh, that is such an unfair question.
That's not unfair. It's not unfair. It's just a better film. Dream Warriors is a better film.
They're completely different. No, I don't know. I like equally.
You didn't take my bait. You didn't take my bait.
I love Dream Warriors. Absolutely not taking your bait, buddy.
I'll drink to that.
I mean, we have better musicians, but they're the better film.
What did you say, Andras?
I mean, we have better musicians across the board, but that's a better film. Come on, they got Lawrence Fishburne. I think you don't have Lawrence Fishburne.
They had Academy Award winner Patricia Arquette.
That as well, you know.
So guys,
Rodney was even younger and cuter than when he was in Army movie. I mean,
but they did not bring Craig Wasson back. Go figure.
What's on that?
I want to do another shout out to the charity tonight. It is Care Rescue LA. I just saw some dogs in Emma's.
Those are our dogs from Care Rescue.
Yes, please donate. CareRescueLA.org. Please send us a screenshot of your donation. If you send the most money, you win the Blu-ray prize pack that honors Mr. Chuck Russell, who directed the film that we just read. So please do that. I want to do a couple of quick plugs on Friday. That's this Friday, 2 days from now. We're doing a special Scripts Gone Wild of 2 classic episodes of The Twilight Zone. at 7:30 on YouTube, streaming live. That should be a lot of fun. And then next week, same time, same place, we're doing Bride of Frankenstein, which should also be a grand old time. We don't do a lot of classic films, so this is kind of exciting. You can follow us at Scripts Gone Wild across the socials. If you want to support us, you can do that at patreon.com/scriptsgonewild. And I'm going to get one final thoughts from the cast on do you think that the read was better than the actual film? Because I kind of feel like it was.
Yeah,
I like this ending a little bit better.
Yeah, this is a cool ending.
Yeah.
This was kind of a Prince of Darkness ending, like a John Carpenter Prince of Darkness ending, with like laying in bed and like, I don't know, it had that same feel to it. Especially him meeting Chris. I don't know. I got that vibe.
Yeah.
Got a 2020 flavor to it.
Very well put.
It's emotional. I think the characters are just beautifully written, and the relationship with all the characters. I just love them. You know, I really love them. You know, yeah. I mean, in the end, it was just very sentimental. It was truly sad. You know, these two young women who've bonded, and you know, it's pretty cool. And I love how the parents are written. They're all such losers. It's just like, it's so great. It's so great.
Yeah, the parents are not written with much empathy. They're written very much as just fucking monsters.
Yeah. Yeah, literally, right? So
I'm also going to encourage folks to check out the Screen Drafts podcast, which is hosted by our co-host for tonight, Mr. Clay Keller.
Oh my goodness. Thank you, Billy Ray.
Yes.
Thank you.
Draft. Check it out, and specifically check out the Freddy versus Jason episode, which he alluded to earlier, which ranks all of the Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th films
against each other.
And is a pretty delightful, like 5.5 hours.
How did Nightmare 4 do in that?
How did
Good night,
Nightmare
you guys.
4
Thank you
do?
so much.
Oh
I'm
my
about to
goodness.
Find out my iPad's gonna die.
No, that's okay. That's okay.
You were awesome.
You guys, you guys were all so awesome. It was super funny. I'm so glad I joined. Good night, you guys.
Bye.
That's fun.
Night.
How did Nightmare
ciao.
4 do?
Hold on, I've got the letterbox list. Nightmare 4 was in the top half at number 7 out of all 20 between the Friday and the Nightmare movies.
Okay, lucky 7.
Yeah,
not bad.
Not bad. So I'm gonna give everybody an introduction finally before we log off. So a big thanks to Emma Kenney, who just signed off. Lisa Wilcox.
Woo!
Andras Jones.
It was interesting to read Nancy.
I know. I can imagine. Wait, who did you read when you did Nightmare the first time? Who was it that you read in that one? It was the mother, right?
Yeah, I think the mom.
Yeah. That was it.
I don't think I read. Yeah, I don't think I read Nancy. So
yeah, that's very different. So yeah, Andras Jones.
Yay!
Allie Ioannides. Rico Anderson.
Yay!
Betsy Sodaro. Ryan Gowland. Graham Skipper.
Yay!
Izzy Lee.
Yay!
Scott Wampler.
Yeah.
Kira Powell.
Yeah.
Flannery Whaley, who I also believe popped off accidentally.
No, she's there.
Oh no, she's there. Flannery's back. Awesome.
I came back.
And thank you, Flannery, for performing.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
DeVaughn Taylor.
Hey.
And our designated drinker. Okay, I'm gonna drink on that. Our designated drinker, Sasha Kerbel.
Yay!
Thank you guys so much. CareRescueLA.org is the charity. Thank everybody so much for joining us tonight. And join us next week, and we'll have some more fun.